Welcome to the Are You Not Entertained podcast. We are your hosts, Infamous and Treese, where we give our unfiltered takes on gaming, movies, tech, and everything entertainment. If we feel it's relevant, we've got an opinion on it. So let's get into it.
Without further ado, let's get into today's agenda. Starting off with breaking the ice. Xbox has the audacity to raise the price of Game Pass. Yes. And that just happened. New God of War rumors. Did you catch that update on Nintendo's latest slimy lawsuit? And did Sony make a blunder with the PS5 Pro? Because is it even worth it? And our closing topic will be the Ghost of Yotei, our first impressions. And let's get started with breaking the ice. All right, so I just want to preface
I'm
this
gonna start
before I
this off
let.
real quick.
Wait. No, wait. I'm gonna just start this off because
I'm
out of the
ready.
two,
I'm heated, damn it.
wait, out of the two of us, you pay for Xbox Game Pass, or at least you did at one point. And I've never paid for the product, even when it was financially sound, due to the fact that play nothing on Xbox. So I never got the benefit or what was so good about it, about the Xbox Game Pass, even when it first came out. So I just want to preference that you've been a supporter of this product in the past. I'm not saying it was a bad deal in the beginning, but now that it has $30 per month, I am very intrigued on your standpoint now. And have you already canceled, or did you even get to the point where you could cancel? Because Xbox kind of crashed through all the cancellations. So no further ado, Infamous, tell us your thoughts on this topic.
I told y'all I want the record to be set straight that I said it here on Are You Not Entertained, that when the bill came due from this Activision Blizzard deal, the kid gloves was gonna come off from Microsoft. They were not gonna play nice, all the consumer friendly shit and shaking hands and kissing babies. I told you all this shit was going to happen. It
Okay,
started
wait.
with the first.
Wait, hold on, because before you get in your shit, before you get in your bag, I also want to point out that you said that a lot of moves that the Activision deal, the Bethesda deal was in support of Game Pass. But now with the current price hike, are they still, I guess my question to you is this still a viable product that Xbox in the next 5 years continues to push? And I won't interrupt you again.
So that you can't give a clear yes no answer to that, and I can break it down because I did my homework. So the first issue, like you said, with the Game Pass and everything, there was one price hike with the consoles, a second price hike for consoles, and now the Game Pass. Xbox is no longer the quote unquote best deal in gaming. Xbox does not run Xbox anymore. Microsoft runs Xbox. $70 billion. That's a lot of money. Your average person cannot quantify, cannot think of $70 billion. Hell, $1 billion is an astronomical amount of money. So you times that times 7, it's like, what? So the answer, I'm gonna go in order. I did not cancel my Game Pass yet, only because my child and I have Game Pass, and I need to check and see if it is the same way how it was with me and you. Where as long as he has his account, my account on his Xbox, is he still given the privileges of everything associated with my account. So I'm looking into that. But as far as everything else, Microsoft does not care about the goodwill, the thoughts, or any of that needs to be made. Plain, simple, and period. And before this huge mergers and acquisitions that was going on, Xbox was playing it safe. They bought a little studio here, bought a little studio there. Everybody was, oh, okay, well, they'll have access to, endless funds, blah, 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 this and that. And then Xbox started to feel themselves, we got big dick daddy money. We got Microsoft's money. We can do or buy anything. And that was the rumors and talks that was going on. There was talks that they were going to buy EA. They was looking at buying Sega. They kept proposing like, we need to buy a publisher. We need to buy a publisher because the goal was to take up as much content as possible away from Sony and feed it into Game Pass to attract more and more people. The $70 billion acquisition, it put such a spotlight on not just Xbox, but Microsoft as a whole. It got Microsoft attention like, why are y'all spending so much money? What do y'all do? doing. Xbox only equates to 8% of Microsoft's revenue, which ain't a lot if you know how much money Microsoft brings in a quarterly on a quarterly basis. So 8% is, but you spending buku money. So now Microsoft is, hey, we don't care what is done or how it's done. We don't care about physical games. We don't care about console sales. We want you people in our subscription and to stay there. You're gonna like the games we give you. We control it, simple and period. This is no longer about playing nice. This is no longer on, hey, we're going to outdo this with Sony. That doesn't matter anymore because, as we've also stated, puts their games on PlayStation. Whatever brings in, they don't care about anything else. And this goes to show you, as I said before, even though this was about Game Pass, which it still is. They just don't care how it's done now. Call of Duty is there to obtain and hold people. Game Pass is their end game in a sense. Not to make a Marvel movie reference, but that it is what it is. The consoles they have not sold since their blunder in the Xbox One. We've talked about it. Everyone has talked about it. We all know about it. Console sales are down double digits every quarter. Software sales are down continuously, but that's on their fault because they assumed that this Netflix of gaming was going to bring in the masses, and it did not. And if they retract first day release thing, a House of Cards will come crumbling, and they'll be looked at as liars, pariahs, etc. And it's ridiculous. So now Microsoft has told you all you're gonna pay $650 going on 5-year-old hardware, and you're gonna like it. Take Game Pass, whether it's the 10, the 15, or the 30. As long as we got you ecosystem. They're trying to think like Apple right now, and even though Microsoft is a $4 trillion company, they're not Apple. Let's just state that. You join Apple's ecosystem, they make you feel warm and fuzzy and comfortable. You bought their product, and it's a long sustaining, long successful. Whereas Microsoft, you had the Microsoft Zune that failed. They tried to be the first with the tablet thing that failed. You could say that was too early or so, but it didn't work. They tried with this online gaming, always online, and the no use games, and every endeavor they have tried to push to control the narrative, they have failed. And now they are just at the point the kid gloves are off. We're going to show you what we're about. They're betting on your average consumer, the casuals, who don't pay attention to this type of news and everything. They'll get notified and they'll just forget, and you will keep getting charged the $30 a month. $30 times 12 is $360. And I'm sure this is not how people wanted the 360 moniker to come back, but that's what it is. $360 a year for Game Pass. And it is the shadiest shit I have ever seen. When they made the announcement, they started fucking video with the audacity to say, we have heard your feedback and your as if people asked to, hey, let me pay you guys more money. No one asked for this, but they had the audacity to play on the consumer's intelligence. Not only that, PC Game Pass, they made no acknowledgement or announcement that the price was going up by $12 to $16.50. And they talk about giving you options and giving you more. PC Game Pass got nothing. They're just charging you more just because they can. The tiers are broken down in front of you. Essential, 50 games, $10. Premium, 200 plus games. The day ones will come up to a year, possibly, after release, $15. $30, 400 plus games, and day one. But they also added a moniker that a lot of people did not catch. 75 day one games a year. And if you look closely, the asterisk, if you truly paid attention, Call of Duty is excluded from those other tiers unless you have Ultimate. And that's where they strike. You want to stay on the current new hotness every year, Call of Duty, we want $30 from you. That's 75 games a year first day. Let's be honest and real. That is pure bullshit, smoke up the ass advertisement. Because I'm going to tell you here now as well. You're going to hear it first from Infamous. That 75 day one Game Pass games, you'll be lucky if 10% of those are Microsoft first party game studios games. Because they didn't say that. It's right there in black and white. It does not say that in their wording. Those are all first party games. Those
Wait,
will
wait,
be deal. Go
wait,
ahead.
wait. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So you're saying the 75 titles first day games could
Mhm.
not be Microsoft first
No.
party games?
What they're gonna do is throughout the year, they are gonna supplement third-party games to be day one on Game Pass. Go ahead and read the breakdown. It does say 75 day one games. It does not say 75 Microsoft first-party studio games. So let's just say we'll keep it simple. Right now, Hades 2, an indie game, is out on PC and the Nintendo Switch 2 platform. Eventually, it will come to PlayStation and Xbox. When it does, it will be a third-party game. Microsoft will pay a studio of a hot game that's coming up like that, hey, put it day and dates on Game Pass. There have been several games that they have done with that. Not huge, eye-dropping, draw-dropping games, but, some things that, catch people's attention. Expedition 33 was said day one on Game Pass. And, of course, that's a very popular game right now. But that's the example I'm giving. To feed that, to make sure they are not sued for false advertisements, and, of course, even though they have tons of studios, they do not have juice to squeeze out 75 titles every year from their own people. They will feed that through third party, which will probably be indies, the double A's, and the smaller end games. And when someone complains, they're going to say, well, we never promised first party game. We just said 75, and that's what they're going to do. This is all word salad. This is all playing the people in front of them. And they're hoping no one catches and or pays attention, because on the internet cafe, you have majority of people who have canceled their Game Pass. Good for you. Put your money where your mouth is. Show corporations they're not your friend, that their stocks, their money, their yachts come from you. But not just that. You have some people who have dumbed down their subscription model, but no one has truly paid attention, because a lot of people did not catch that Call of Duty is excluded from the premium. It will never come. You want Call of Duty, you have to have Ultimate. Even the date that it takes effect, November 4th, that's 10 days before the new Black Ops comes out. They know what they're doing by doing it, and it is egregious. That's 3 price hikes in one and or fiscal year, however you want to, from a 4 trillion. It's hard for the mind to wrap around a 4 trillion that makes billions every quarter. They have made record, but because the little kid on the block spent too much of daddy's money, they want that ROI, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get it. Plain, simple. I'm going to just go off this a little bit more on the Ultimate, because you have some crazy assholes defending the price hike, saying that, oh, well, Ubisoft Plus Classic is now introduced. Ubisoft Plus Classic is 15-year-old Assassin's Creed games. If you are that interested in them, just go get you an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One. And they're all damn near a dime a dozen right now. It says Ubisoft Plus Classics, not Ubisoft Plus. So that also means when a new Ubisoft game comes out, you are not getting its day one part of that service. EA Play is included. EA Play does not have or include EA games when they first come out. What they do is they give you I believe it's a 10-hour trial to try the game when it comes out. And if you like it, you can buy it, I believe, at a discount rate. And later on, after they've gotten the money and revenue out of it, then it's added to EA Play, and like, here you go. But it is not day and date. It is not day one. And then, of course, the Fortnite, the Battle Pass crew, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, because I don't play for. I'm not a child. I'm not a Gen Alpha or whatever the hell these new people are. But they added that. And to be honest with you, I'm going to go a little bit conspiracy theory here. When Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, when the FTC was suing and they went to court and the trial was going on and all of Microsoft beans got spilled, to appease the judge and other people who did not want the deal to go through, Microsoft broke up and gave the rights to a lot of their streaming services of games and etc. to who? They gave it to Ubisoft. And now, to include Ubisoft Plus into Game Pass, they've risen the price. This is not just greed. This is also to pay off partners. They had to tell the judge, hey, we won't control or have monopoly on game streaming and cloud. We'll send it off to Microsoft. We'll send it off to Ubisoft. And now Ubisoft is a part of Game Pass, bringing it all back in full fucking circle to now EA, Ubisoft, Fortnite. Well, Epic Games, and Microsoft will now get a slice of this cheese of this $30 a month. This is nothing more but pure greed, and they think you are stupid and ignorant that you won't match the pieces up together. Because I remember that trial. There were a lot of things exposed, games, business plans, everything. Some have come to fruition. I'm sure a lot of it has not. They had to switch the gears because, the public sector got a hold of something they were not supposed to. But I'm telling you now, you heard it here. I told you all this would happen. I also said when they acquired Activision Blizzard, do not get giddy thinking that all those mass IP vault that Activision have will just get thrown onto Game Pass. And guess what? It has not. Prototype 1 and 2, they are not on Game Pass. The Transformer games, okay, I throw a bone at that. That's a licensed game. The license has expired. So they really can't do that. But if anybody could get Hasbro or anyone to play ball, it's Microsoft. They have the money. Are they going to spend it? Why? Why would we spend the license? Give the consumer what they want. They don't care what they want. We want their money. Many more. Hell, I'll even go simple and easy. All older Call of Duty games are not on Game Pass. They still sell them at a premium. Oh, they did the marketing. Oh, we cleaned up the servers. We got rid of the cheaters, guys. Come on back. Yeah, they did that. And hope that majority of you will buy the game digitally because now that's all money in their pocket and you'll play it. Why would we give it away? This ain't checkers anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is chess. And they've made their check move and they do not care. Your thoughts, Treese?
Yeah, so I actually have I guess not a polar opposite thought on this price hike, but I think this price hike tell us something different. I mean, not saying that your points are not valid or real, but I just think Xbox and Microsoft have a different outlook for the future. And I've been saying this. I said, yo, outside looks crazy. It looks grimy as hell for gaming and entertainment across the board. And I think this goes back into what I said in previous videos. They are gearing up for hard times and they are squeezing you for every dime that they can while they can for as long as possible before the hard times hit. But before I get too deep in my opinion, I just want to go through some rapid fires and you can just say yes or no to these questions because I just want to make sure your point is totally expressed. In your opinion, is this too steep of a jump in prices for Game Pass?
Yes.
Do you feel that users that has Game Pass, such as yourself, do you feel that they added value to these tiers?
That is subjective, but to keep it simple, yes.
Okay, interesting. Do you think, and I'm really curious on your thought on this question. Do you think this is going to start driving people to buy games? Not have no subscription, not have none of this bullshit. Like, hey, I'm going into GameStop and I'm going to buy physical game. And even if not physical, digital. Like they want to have some type of ownership of the game. Do you think this is going to drive that?
Yes. Okay, real quick sidebar. It's funny that you mentioned that because I
Mhm.
read an article and someone threw that as a theory
Yep,
that
that and it
because they
this
are
goes into my thought in my opinion, but go ahead.
that because they lost and are bleeding nearly $400 million a year as they keep giving Call of Duty away. Microsoft upstairs they will not
Mhm.
outright say, let Game Pass go. Go ahead. What?
Okay. All right. So next question, I got three more questions. Do you think this is going to affect, and this goes back to I think our topic from last week. Do you think this is going to have a major impact on casual gamers more than hardcore gamers? Because as we know, casual gamers are casual. They're not here for the long haul and the troubled times. So whereas hardcore fans probably will continue to pay for Ultimate at $30 a month, do you think casuals will feel the same way and swallow the price hike?
I'm 50-50, yes and no. But if I had to put a real hard answer, I would say no.
Okay, so next question. Only got two left. Do you
Mhm.
think this price of $30 a month for Game Pass a sustainable price? Like, could people realistically make sense of paying $30 a month for Ultimate Game Pass, or has this probably broken trust too much with the consumers?
It's broken trust too much. And I'm just going to add a small caveat. if they were so bold to raise the price this high, this fast, they're gonna do it again. And mark
Mhm.
my words, they will push it to $50 a month sooner
Mhm.
or later.
Mhm.
They will do it.
Yeah, and that kinda goes in my last question. Do you think, which I already know it's a no. Do you think Microsoft would kinda walk back or put on their tapping shoes and kinda, if not lower the price, try to add more value to the ultimate, $30 a month? Or do you see them saying, "Hey, in 8 to 9 or even a year from now, another price increase,"
Another price increase?
without
Yes.
adding any value?
Without adding any value? Absolutely yes.
Okay.
Will they try to add now? Will they try to add value to satiate and calm the storm?
Okay, so let me preference adding value. Adding real value, not word salad shit. Okay. All right. So that's all the questions that I had. Now I'm going to be quick as possible with my opinion because, I dog Microsoft as a gaming company do under the Xbox name. I've dogged them every episode, every short, everything. I am very hard on especially Xbox and Nintendo because they do slimy stuff. And I feel like this is in line with a lot of the points I made in previous videos of Xbox and Microsoft. And I say this with you made the most brilliant comment ever saying Microsoft is bringing the bill due. They're calling the loan on all the shit and the acquisitions that they done. And they saying, "Hey, we buckling down." Cuz in my opinion, they're gearing up. Every studio, every gaming company is gearing up for something. Now, you can have your own beliefs in what they're doing and all this, but I'm saying the pace that they're increasing games, subscriptions, cost of consoles does not match the increase in people's pay. And they always say your pay is always 4 or 5 years behind the cost of living in real numbers and economics and stuff. And I'm not even trying to go into numbers with you. The rate that gaming and entertainment has increased just in the last 12 months. It's just so unheard of. I'm going to say this, even though you just broke down the deal and all they did with it when they had the little courts and lawsuits and stuff. I think all the previous deal that was in place with Game Pass, with EA and other publishers and other people are over. They're done. So now to keep them somewhat in the ecosystem, Game Pass has to be increased. It just has to because they cannot continue to pay EA whatever price they're now charging probably, especially now they gotten sold. That's even more indication that whatever previous agreements that Xbox had with EA to have their shit in their ecosystem, I believe is over and is now being renewed. EA has up the price across the board. Whoever, even indies, because like I said, indie games are getting out of control too. They almost comparable. You're really not that far off from a AAA game. So everybody's price has increased, and now this is just a reflection of the increase. And I'm not saying $30 is a good deal because I don't know. Like I said, I've never paid for Game Pass. It was never appealing to me because Xbox never gave me a reason to play on their console in the first place. So I cannot detest to if this is a good deal or if it's reasonable because if you do $360 divided by 70, which is the game price, that's 5 games per year. So if you gonna play more than 5 games per year, this might still be a deal for you. I can't speak to that. I just know it ain't a deal for me because my Xbox is a paperweight. I just think this is the reflection of the environment. Their content licensing and acquisition costs has pushed Microsoft to say, bitch, we're buckling down. And I told you the only way to get more money is either what? To lower your expenses or increase your profit margins. And I think this is a little bit of mix of both. The content licensing has gone up, so what? They need to increase their profit. Now, a lot of people are in backlash because I can't remember the lady's name now. Forgive me. She stated, "Hey, Game Pass is profitable. Game Pass made $5 billion in revenue and went on a show and said, "Hey, this is a business plan that we're not slowing down on and we're going to continue to push." I say to that, she's a fucking lie. There's no way
Absolutely.
She's a
Fucking lie.
fucking lie. There's no way Game Pass has been profitable. And you can even, and they don't even really, they really hide the numbers because I try to pull up the financials just on the Game Pass revenue. You really can't even find it. And if you can, hey, post that shit in the comment because I couldn't find it. I think she's a fucking lie. I don't think it's ever been profitable, even off the old numbers and agreements with EA and all the other shit. So now what has happened? EA has been sold. They opened the price. Everybody across the board is upping the price. So now you already had a failing product who was not bringing you profit. You have no choice. You're forced to up the price. And honestly, I think long term, and somebody else said this too, I think long term, Microsoft don't give a fuck about Game Pass. I think they're letting it go. Because why? They are in the business now, and you said this, their business model is saying, hey, we want our games everywhere. So why would you push a product to where you basically saying if you buy more than 5 games a year, buy this Game Pass? No, I think they're literally potentially and purposely squeezing every single dollar or nickel or penny out of whoever is willing to pay $30 a month. They're going to squeeze them for as long as possible. Once them people say, nah, this ain't for me, I'm going to go back to buying regular games at regular prices, that's where they going to eat at. Because why? They make more money off games than in consoles. We already talked about that. And now that their games are on all platforms, since that consumer now is going to go buy the game, whether they do, and they more than likely going to pay digitally, which they make more profit off of than physically. I think this is the play. I think they're saying, fuck Game Pass. We're letting that shit go. That shit was never profitable. So now we're going to make sure we make a profit on whoever is willing to pay these prices for this word salad of whatever, because I don't understand anybody who looks at the Ultimate and say, yeah, I want to play 500 games of, Xbox One 360. At that point, what? Once you play it and beat it, it's over. Like, I'm not replaying the same Xbox One and 360 games over and over again. Like, I don't know why anybody would do that, but whatever. If you do, more power to you. So I just think this is a play that they are abandoning Game Pass in the long term. I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2, 3, even 5 years. I think this is a 10-year plan to push people to buying 6+ games a year at $70. And the average game consumer probably buys not even the standard edition. They probably buy the deluxe, try to get something. So they probably spending $100 per game. You do that times 6 to 10 games, you didn't spend $1,000 in games. Why the hell would they even push you to go to Game Pass when they gonna make money off the motherfucking individual game sales? I just think they're abandoning the product because it was never profitable. Microsoft is looking at the books like, nah, bruh, you been in the red too long. They call them the loan. They say, hey, that Activision and that Blizzard and whoever else you bought, nah, we gonna get our money back plus some, and they gonna guarantee it. And this is just how they're gonna shift the mindset of the consumer. Now you gotta look at this point of view that I'm making, not from a consumer. You can't be so emotional in the process of looking at this like this is evil, blah 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 blah. You gotta look at it as if you was the owner of Microsoft and you saw the books and you saw how much red you are with Game Pass, and you go in a meeting and you talk to these Xbox people and you say your job is on the line because we are doing more layoffs. So you better get back in the black some way, somehow. And I'm guessing the people and the head people at Xbox said, hey, that Game Pass is going to be the first one on the chopping block. And whoever's willing to pay these crazy prices, we're going to suck them dry. But what we really want them is to go back to buying 7+ games a year. And we're going to force them one way or another. And the most genius thing about the point I'm making is that the fact that they're going to make money regardless if you buy it on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Why? Because now Xbox is nothing but a big publisher. They're not in the game to make games, make fun games, and make first-party games. Bitch, they're in the publishing game. And I just think, and I could be totally wrong, but I just think if I was the head of Microsoft, what would I do? I'm gonna suck you dry. not suck you dry, 'cause that's crazy. Talk to the head of Xbox people. I'm saying, hey, you in the red, and you got this amount of time to get in the black. And if you don't get in the black, everybody's getting laid off. I don't care, Spencer. I don't care how long you've been here. You can get got to, and all that bonuses and all the stock bonuses we give you. You can already expect not to get that for the next 3 years if you're not back in the black. I think the head people at Xbox said, "Hey, hold up, because we can't go back in the next quarter with the shareholders, and because they talking about laying off us now. Companies start moving different when the upper management, the upper room people start getting on the chopping block. Oh, they start making moves. This is right in line with the moves, right in line with the moves, because little Timmy in the cube down the hallway and all his little friends and cliques, oh, they already been laid off because Microsoft already did a round of layoffs. They're already gone. Who has the higher salary out of everybody? Who can save the company more money, the upper management people or the little developer data analyst level 1? It's the upper people. And I think this is just a reflection of the upper people seeing the writing on the wall, saying, hey, we got to get right, and we got to get right real fast. We got to start showing that we're relevant, and not only are we costing the company money, we're making double the money, triple the money. And you say it's greed, but I just think it's greed in the sense that they're gearing up for something, and they threaten people, hey, your job is on the line. In the next 12 months, it's really going to dictate, are you still with this company or not, Spencer? And whoever else that lady was that was lying saying Game Pass was profitable, baby, you can get gone too. Equal opportunity, man and women. We laying off all of them. That's kind of my main thoughts on it. And like I said, I could be totally wrong, but I just think, yeah, I think Microsoft came to Xbox and said, baby, the bills due. We didn't let you run wild with our pocketbook for, shoot, what? They've been buying studios up for 6 years, 7 years? They probably been in the red for 7 years? Oh,
Since
yeah.
2018.
Yeah, yeah.
Since
Oh,
2018. That's when they
oh,
first started buying up.
and baby, we gearing up for a recession? No, we gonna make all the money we can while we can before everybody. Cause I'm seeing it. Like IT layoffs, all the craziness that's happening, they're gearing up. I'm saying they're setting the precedent. This is the line. This is the minimum amount of money we're gonna make. And so going forward, even if we lose, even if half the subscribers of Game Pass leave, guess what? If they still have some type of console, they gonna buy the fucking game. They're just not gonna have Game Pass, which is what we want anyway. And listen, you could feel like I have my tinfoil hat on, and it's a conspiracy, and this is like seeing a UFO. But baby, let me tell you, the government released files and saying, yeah, aliens are real. So it's not that crazy. I'm saying it's not that crazy. But what are your quick thoughts? Because we've been on this topic for a while. But what are your quick thoughts on the points I've made?
So I'm gonna get this off because you made a lot of great points and you was on a roll. I want to cut you off. The lady that you're talking about, her name is Sarah Bond, the little
Sarah
black lady with
fucking
the
Bonds.
smile and the hair.
Yes. Yes, the African American. That's why I said it's equal
Yes,
opportunity, baby. Your job is on the line too.
that's one.
I don't even trust
You hit
Sarah's.
a nerve when you said Phil Spencer can go and whatnot, and it brought up another theory that people have been kicking around, and it's been gaining traction because it seems to make more sense that somewhere after the Blizzard deal, like you said, all this buying, acquisition, everything, someone came and was like, Phil, oh, I'm trying to let Phil, you have spent too much money and too much time, and you have nothing to show for it. You're gonna take a back seat. You no longer determine how and where this ship goes, how it's run,
Hey, go
because
sit your
you don't
ass
pay
down. Go sit your ass down somewhere.
because you don't pay attention to it. But ever since Sarah Bond has come around, you see Phil Spencer less and less
Mm-hmm.
and less. You see her.
Mm-hmm.
You
She
see her
does the
making the
most talking
decisions
when
and
they're
the interviews
together.
and the talks. Yeah. And people have theorized that when this console generation is over, Phil Spencer will retire. He will go. They
I
will they
mean,
won't fire him. They'll probably give him an
mm,
option like, hey, it's like PlayStation. Let Jim Ryan retire after his blunders and all the online live service fuck ups and spending nearly $4 billion on Bungie that has not done anything well. They're like, hey man, you're gonna take a step back.
mm-hmm.
Sarah,
Go sit
Sarah
your
may
ass
be the
down.
president. And technically, she is under you. She will do the day-to-day talk. She will
Mhm.
do the interviews, and she is the one who will
She gonna
make the
answer these
choices.
questions,
You
and
are
she gonna
just
start
now
telling these lies.
absolutely. You are the face of Xbox because you are the one the community looks forward to. You have cultivated the Xbox audience after the Don Matrick blunder. So you are who they
Mhm.
look forward to. But
Mhm.
you don't make choices anymore. That's one. You made another point with the EA thing and them being purchased. I totally forgot about this. But people, if you all don't pay attention to gaming slash entertainment news, I know I listen to news every day. Ubisoft is in hot shit water.
Mhm.
There are rumors that there are companies swirling to try to
Mhm.
do another hostile takeover
Yep.
like Vivendi did many years ago because their
Mhm.
stocks are super, super fucking low.
Plummeting,
You have
plummeting.
them laying off people and their IPs are not hidden anymore. Assassin's Creed is no longer the juggernaut it used to
It's
be
dead.
15
It's
years.
it's unalive.
And with the cost of everything going up, and of course the T word, and everyone keeps saying, "Well, that's why the price is going up." That's horseshit.
No,
Game
no.
Pass is a digital good. The T word ain't got nothing to do with that.
Mm-mm.
But what you said made me think that Microsoft came, or they came to Microsoft like, "Hey, we got some problems, and if you want us to keep funneling you these IPs or whatever, you need to do X, Y, and Z." And then, as you
Get
said, them execs, Sarah
get back in
Bond
the
was like,
black.
"Hey, you know what? All right, we can do that." The prices came through. They
Mhm.
chose to say, "Hey, we're not in this for being nice anymore because we
Mm-mm.
played
Yeah.
hardball. They
Yo.
got us kicked in the teeth. We've been playing nice since Don Matrick, and yeah, people love us, but they ain't buying us. They ain't buying us. So
It's
now
the
it's
it's
all
the
hands
transition.
truly on deck."
Your job is
It
on the line
absolutely
now.
is. And you said that one thing as you spoke on before, the coming of the storm. Every huge corporation is doing one of three things: mass layoffs, diverting large quantities of resources into AI, or as you said, buckling down the shit to hit the fan in a sense. Because as I said before, they used to say gaming was recession proof because in hard times or whatnot, spending 15 or $10 at the time, whatever it was, on a movie, 2.5 hours of entertainment. No, that's not cutting it. That ain't cutting it, baby. But now, you spend $60 and you get hundreds of hours of entertainment. Ooh, that really gets you your bang for your buck. I agree with you 100. And I'm pretty sure the Saudis and the other two entities that purchased EA, they probably came to Microsoft like, "Yo, you have been getting over hand over
Mhm.
fist with this company and our IP. And we have been checking the books, and you are being undercharged, and that no longer will be happening. These are our new terms. You can roll with it, or you can let EA Play go off of your platform."
And
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 that was that.
I can already see the comments. Well, the deal won't be finalized to 2027. Baby, if you don't think the organizations that has bought EA hasn't already looked in their books and said, "Hey, you need to start making some adjustments for this money to come through." So EA is already adjusting to demands of the new owners now. Do a quick picture. As somebody who wants to sell, you gonna do whatever you need to do to make sure that deal is finalized. So if the new owners say, "Hey, this deal, don't re-up, don't sign no new documents," because baby, we that price is gonna get double, if not triple. And EA probably already broke the news to Xbox, like, "Hey, this is the numbers we looking at," and Xbox like, "Whoa, we already was in the red." So I'm just saying, the dominoes have already starting to fall. Xbox is just slowly, like I said, I think they're trying to transition people to start buying games again at $70, $100 per. So I think they're purposely crashing Game Pass. Now, will that end up being the case? Who
Absolutely.
knows? Who
Absolutely.
knows? I mean, who we can't really tell the future, like you said in one of your questions. You really can't quantify that as of today. Looking on, you can make some predictions because, like I said, $30 per month probably don't make sense for a lot of people. And like I said, I can't tell you if that's a good price because I never paid for Game Pass to begin with. Shoot, where it was $15, $14.99, it was already not a deal for me. So $29.99, it's just never gonna be a deal for me. If this still makes sense, to you, especially hit the comments because I'll be very interested in the feedback. If $30 per month for Ultimate Game Pass makes sense for you going forward, 2025. Because like I said, $360 if you buy 6 games per year and you can get them all on your console, it still probably makes sense for you because 360 divided by $70 is like 5.1 game. If you buy 6 game in a year that's on Xbox, it probably makes sense for you. Especially, if with this EA Play and Ubisoft and Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know. But yeah, this is just an interesting move. And I just think this is one of many dominoes that will continue to fall. And like we stated, gaming and
Tumble, tumble,
gaming
tumble.
and entertainment is just becoming so unaffordable. You really gonna have to start the consumers are gonna have to make hard decisions. And I think that's by design. They're gonna say Xbox $30. Like Disney just raised their prices to $20 per month. They're on par with Netflix, who they was trying to purposely undercut at the beginning. Now they saying, "Oh, we matching, same." I mean, if you compare your Disney subscription next to a Game Pass subscription, maybe it's not that unaffordable. I'm very interested in the comments below the video. Like, let me know if it makes sense or if we crazy. Because, like you said, a lot of people online are defending it, and I even hit the chat when you and our buddy put it in. I said, that's really not, honestly, I thought they would have been, and I said this in the last video, I've been waiting on this Game Pass bubble to burst for the longest. I'm surprised it hasn't been happened. The average game has went from what, $59.99 to $69.99 or whatever it is. Like all the games baselines have risen. So it only makes sense as somebody who would own Microsoft and Xbox. As a consumer, fuck that. I don't care about making sense. But as somebody who has financial interests in Microsoft and Xbox, it only made sense to raise the price because why? The baseline for video game prices has risen. So it only makes sense. And I said that in the group chat. Well, that's really not that crazy. Now the price they increased it, that's up for interpretation and debate. Like I said, Xbox has never been for me. They don't make shit for me. I continue to say in every video, baby, you gotta work for my money. And Xbox has never in the last few consoles worked for my money. So they'll continue to get not a dollar out of me. Yeah, that's all I got for this topic. It's just getting real grimy. I say this every video. It's getting real grimy outside. And it's only gonna continue. But you got anything else to add before I move on?
At this point, I don't know if you looked at the numbers on how much they are truly losing, and it's hard. I'm gonna add, Microsoft is very slick because they go through the utmost to make sure you do not know how much they are
Oh,
failing at this
yes.
quote unquote
Yes.
mix of
I
games.
I tried to
But it
find the
has
numbers.
been said
Couldn't.
they are losing. It's been said by many different outlets, journalists, reporters, etc., whoever you want to call, that they lost almost $400 million because they chose to give Call of Duty rather than charge for. And
Mhm.
somewhere along Microsoft, and I'm going to say this, Satya Nadella is the CEO of Microsoft. That is the parent company of Xbox. He has been very, very generous up until now. Xbox's shenanigans.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
him who said, "Hey, that exclusive shit, I don't like that. Why would you limit a product to one thing when you can have it everywhere and make more money?" It was him who made the choice. Our games are going everywhere. We're not holding back. How do you make money in this rising cost of everything if it's just only here? I'm pretty certain it was him who looked at everything and said, this Game Pass thing is not sustainable. Sarah Bond, you are a bold-faced liar, because people are coming at her on the internet saying, if you look at the words she says, profitable. They always said Game Pass was sustainable. They never said, and in her statements in that interview, she said Game Pass generated $5 billion in revenue. She did not say $5 billion in profits.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Revenue
key
and profit
word.
are two completely different things.
Mhm.
But to not drag this out, I 100% agree with you because it has been stated online. Microsoft is turning the tide. They don't care about Game Pass no more. That failed. They are not going to reach 50 million. They have not reached 50 million. It's not going to happen. They need to hard course correct. We as the consumers need to go back to buying video games because that's where majority of their money they've made for Call of Duty came from the people on PlayStation buying buying the game. Xbox, they feel, oh, well, why buy anything? It'll just come to Game Pass. And that's Microsoft's fault. And now they're like,
Yeah.
no, you fucking people need to buy these games again. We're going to raise prices so astronomically, you're going to leave this fucking service. You're going to go back to buying them. And trust me, I'm going to say this too before we move on. They will come back for that $80 price tag on game. They walked it back once because, well, one, the game they chose to do it on was a terrible choice. But trust and believe me, they are going to come back. And this time they will start with Call of Duty. You want the hottest and latest Call of Duty experience? You will pay $80. They are going to do it. They did it once. They will do it again. I'm done with that. You want to move on?
And final comments from me is that if you see what they doing and how they moving now, just wait till that 10-year contract is up with Sony and Nintendo.
Oh,
Oh
baby.
my God. When I said,
Oh,
like I
man.
said in my
I totally forgot
fucking,
about that one.
like I fucking said in the old video, bitch, they gonna come and say, hey, you gonna write us a blank check to keep this. Yeah, you thought that 10-year? Oh, we was calculating interest, and you gonna write us a blank check to keep this. Xbox is gearing up. They trying to
Absolutely.
stronghold people, and they don't give a fuck about Sony and Nintendo, because why? Call of Duty is such a printing making money machine that Nintendo and Sony ain't gonna have no choice. They ain't gonna have no choice but to give them people a blank check to keep that. But anyway, on to the next topic at hand. We ain't spent a lot of time on Xbox. That just happened. New game, God of War game rumor. So I'll let you start off this.
Okay. I was anxious for the Xbox news. I'm real anxious for this one. So I'm a huge God of War fan.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
mainly because it takes place in Greek mythology, which
Mhm.
is my favorite mythology. Under that,
Mhm.
Egyptian.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there are
Mhm.
rumors that there's a new God of War game, a 2.5D Metroidvania. Now, a lot of people expected this on the State of Play.
Uh-huh.
And it would have made sense to show or talk about this and then show that whack ass controller. But
Ugh.
for whatever reasons, they didn't do that. And you just saw that weird ass controller. Like, rumors are, like I said, it's a 2.5D. And it gave thoughts to the subject matter that everyone now believes, or what the people are thinking. Every time they change a pantheon, the perspective of the gameplay will change. In the original games, the Greek mythology, it was from the isometric view. When they went to new mythology, they went to the third person, over the shoulder, action oriented. Now going to what is possibly Egypt. There was hints at Egypt in the 2018 and the 23 game. There was many mentions of it in the dev diaries, and they were talking and going back and forth. And they even stated that they were thinking of Egypt beforehand, before they made the choice to go to Norse. I don't know about you, Trees. Have you ever played any of the God of War games? Are you know, like
Now
what's your stance on God of War as a
you
series?
know damn well I ain't played some God of War games. I listen. I remember the God of War on a handheld.
Well, no, I'm asking because I played, and I do want to state this clearly. I have played every God of War game. First two on PS2, one
Mhm.
on PS3. When they
Mhm.
redid them back on the first two on the Vita,
Yep.
the one that no one liked, Ascension, which I don't know why, it was pretty decent, hard as hell, good ass game. The
Yeah.
rebooting of the series, I played them all.
Yeah.
Played them all. Spartan Warrior. Now I will have to say this. I am somewhat. I don't know how to put it in words. I feel some type of way on the rumors on the 2.5D nature of it, because I'm not a. I don't want to say I don't like Metroidvanias. I'm not the audience of them. Just yeah. Like side. I hear Metroidvania and the first thing comes to mind is, oh, it's a side scroller. I know me. We infamous. We're not fans of side scrollers like that. I'm not saying I don't play them, because I know people in the comments are gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy? What are you trying to say? Who don't like side scrollers?" I'm not saying that. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
not
they
saying that.
definitely
Don't
have a
come at me with
place
the
in the
pitchfork.
market.
Yeah, but that's just not my thing. And God of War, I mean, it's in the name, God of War. Kratos, you expect a certain level of detail, combat, and violence, and I just don't think you can get that with a 2.5D. That's just my thing. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I haven't played the right Metroidvanias. Maybe it may not be done in the sense to how I'm thinking, but I don't know. I was anxious and excited hearing the Egyptian thing, and I was like, oh, maybe they should just make it more action-y, pull the camera back, not over the shoulder, more kind kind of just third person action adventure, maybe a little open world esque. But then the 2018 and Ragnarok were kind of that already. So I
Yeah.
get the whole thing of every time they change a pantheon, they change perspective just to say, oh, well, this is new,
Yeah,
a new
fresh.
feeling, a new area, a new story. Yeah. But what are your thoughts? How did you feel or take this possibility?
Listen, and I just want to say this too. Like there's multiple rumors about this next entry and whether that is considered even an entry or a side story. Like kept seeing those quote unquote this may be a side story, not really the main. And I'm like, what? Like so that's a whole thing in itself. But I guess I'm in the wait and see because they really Sony, if you don't know, like they really have tried to slice this God of War pie in several different ways. And what I'm saying, and I'm gonna give all the slices that they're trying to do. They're making a TV series. They've already ordered 2 seasons on Prime Video for God of War.
Ugh,
That's already a slice of the pie.
ugh,
Two, which a lot of people don't even realize, they tried to make God of War into a live service game, and they canceled it.
they did.
They walked it back. Mind you, this was being developed by Blue Point Games, and they was working on it for a while. And they did announce. They made an announcement of the cancellation of the live service God of War game. That's already that's a slice, and and that's multiple slices in one slice. So it's really interesting in whatever they're going to land on in the next entry or side story or whatever you want to phrase it in the God of War, because they kind of caught in this conundrum that God of War now has so many entries in the franchise. So you have fans that say, "Hey, I play God of War 1, so I expect a certain level. This is the line." And then you got the Ragnarok people who like the different feel and the freshness, so they might expect something new. So that probably kind of goes in line with the Egyptian type setting now. So they're kind of in this rock and a hard place on the next entry of God of War. They know they want to do something because God of War is what? A printing money making machine. And it's a very, very highest franchise exclusive for Sony. And what Sony, there might be the last, well, no, Nintendo is always going to keep their first party. But Sony is very much saying, hey, we got to make good games, quote unquote, good games. We got to make a certain level of first party that can generate a certain level of income. And God of War probably will never go away in Sony's existence of making video games. So I guess I'm more of like just sitting back waiting to see. I'm really curious on what they're gonna land on, especially after the live service and the fact that they was even working on that. And we already talked about how live service has really put Sony back multiple years because they did all this investment and then they canceled a lot of the live service games they had in development. Why? People was giving pushback. And they was like, whoa, well, that's a wrap. So I guess I'm kind of in a I'm just in a curious state of mind of God of War. I'm curious what it's gonna land on, if they're gonna go Egyptian or not, or are they gonna stay in the Greek mythology? If it's gonna be quote unquote a side story, and Kratos won't even be a thing, which I can't even. It's just hard to picture a God of War game without Kratos and even his son and even just a voice. It's just gonna be weird if they go that route. And they have multiple routes they could. So I'm kind of in a really curious state of mind in God of War and all the rumors that's circulating. I wonder if the TV series success or failure is gonna dictate a lot of their moves with the franchise. Like I said, God of War is a pie, and they are trying to slice as many slices as they can. So I'm scared, honestly. If you just want to know my personal feelings of the future of God of War, just the franchise, I'm a little scared because I can see them trying to nickel and dime and suck the life out of God of War. And we've seen this. Mass Effect is a major franchise. Would change gaming as we know it at one point, and they sucked it dry. EA sucked it dry. I'm a little nervous, but yet curious. Curiosity still got me looking like, I'm waiting on the next update. I'm waiting on a teaser, a little 5-second video that'll play. I guess I'm in a more curious and waiting to see state of mind.
Well, I can get that. And to add a little bit more to what you were saying, because I did hear those rumors about the possible spinoff, which it can go two ways. The ending of Ragnarok,
Mhm.
Atreus went off with I can't remember what that girl was to do his own thing. So it could be an Atreus game. I don't know how appealing that would be, showing whatever he's doing off on his own, and that's kind of false advertisement because he's not the God of War. He's quote unquote.
Oh, boy.
It could go showing Kratos doing whatever he's doing, cleaning up with Freya after Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But I remember them talking, them they wanted to wrap everything up in two games because they didn't want to do a third. So that will be a slight contradiction. But then you brought on the show, which I almost totally forgot. The show is a true opportunity for them to answer so many questions of the
Yeah.
series if it's done right.
Yeah.
Depending on
And
where they would take, we know how Kratos became the God of War, but there are many things they could do with the show, showing like his upbringing as a Spartan, him as a young man growing into it. They could answer questions showing how did he leave the Greek pantheon to go into the Norse pantheon. We now know that all the different religions are kind of like in their own little snow globe in a sense that you can just go from one place to the other. They've never answered how he transitioned from one to another, so that's something that can be done. I heard that show was live action, and they just need to stop. Everything don't need to be live action. Just because it's a
I
real person, it
I
doesn't
mean,
make it for
but
a higher quality
The
thing.
Witcher live action was good when Henry Cavill was there. So it's not that it's impossible for live action to work. I just don't have
I
faith
want
in
to go
Amazon
ahead.
Prime. I don't have faith in Amazon Prime in anything because look what they did with
Absolutely
the
fair.
Lord of Rings. Like, I have no faith with the producers and anybody that's running video productions or TV shows in Amazon Prime. I don't have really good outlook on the show.
I'm gonna say this. You heard what Tree said, right? As far as The Witcher. Look how The Witcher was when it had Henry Cavill, someone who was dedicated to the source material and the craft. They don't have that with the God of War. I do believe the director who is directing it has come out and said he has never played a God of War game, does not know anything about
Oh
them,
my
and
god.
he can't play. He tried to play, I think, 2018, and he was confused.
You
So I'm just gonna
can't
let that be.
you can't say that on a
Yeah,
who is his
yeah, he
publicist?
said that. He said that,
That's just
and
gonna
I
piss
was
off
like, okay,
gamers.
it sure it. When I heard it, I was like, why were you picked? If you have no knowledge of the series, no love for it, why are you here? What are you doing
Yeah.
this for?
Yeah.
But
Paycheck.
going back to what you're saying with the spinoff, that can work in a number of ways, good and or
Yeah.
bad, depending
Yeah.
on where they take it. Me personally, I would like spinoff to be gonna upset some people, but I would like spinoffs, side stories to be DLC territory. If this is a whole brand new, let it be a whole brand new setting. Continue his story in whatever shape, fashion, or whatnot. I truly would love the Egyptian setting because, like I said, Greek mythology, then Egyptian, my two favorite loves.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, same.
the 2.5D, I just don't know how fulfilling that would be. But I could be wrong
I'll
because
play
like
it.
I said, I still do love the originals. I still
Yeah.
right now I'm currently playing Core One on my PS Vita, and just like man, look how angry this guy was. Just how grand these battles and visceral they were. So I could be wrong. It could work out and be
And
the best thing since.
now that you bring up your love for the earlier entries, it's a shame because they publicly made a comment saying they're not remastering any of those, and I'm just like, but why?
They're stupid.
like,
That's money.
like,
That is. If there was a true definition of money
listen,
being left on the table, that's
Listen,
it
when I
right there.
if they and you know how I am, I'm a little bougie when it comes to the look and graphics, and is a certain games I'm not going
Mhm.
back to play because they look so hideous on today's TV. If they fucking remastered the first three, when I say shut up and take my money, is an understatement.
Take it.
Like
Mhm.
even if they say, hey, it's $100, I'll pay it. Like, bitch, updated graphics on the
I'll pay
first God
$100 for
of
3 remastered games.
War? Yeah, like I'll even go further. I'll give you 150 in a blink. I don't think a lot of people remember
The
how
first 3
good
games,
those 3
especially,
games were.
they were truly, truly. First of all, the first game, you were in that wherever that weird tower thing was to get the
Mhm.
power. You actually fought Ares. You
Mhm.
killed the god of war. It had the Greek mythology with the little S word mini games with the women.
Mm.
It was truly amazing. You had the boss battles. You had the boss fights. Then came two. They made you the God of War. You got into huge boss battles. Unaliving everyone left and right. Story wise, something truly original. When everybody was, starting to get into the first person military shooter S game. Here you got this guy, this angry, so angry guy, eliminating people's deities. So man, take my money. 150. Go ahead. What? A deluxe book, soundtrack, concept art, whatever. Hell, even if it was 150 just for the 3 games, fully remastered, 1080p, 60 frames per second, or
Oof.
1440, I take it. Even the one God of War game that people really shitted on, God of War Ascension,
Mhm.
and this came out in the controversial period. This is when everybody was adding
Mhm.
multiplayer. The games didn't need it. I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those guys that played that multiplayer. I made my character. I devoted to the God of War with that huge ass hammer and was online killing people. I was like, I have no idea why people are hating this game. This is what we all wanted. We're killing people in the name of our gods. What else? You
Listen,
know?
yo,
But
definitely hit the comment section below. How do you, what are you willing to pay for a remaster of the first 3 games? Even if they went a little grimy, which I could see them doing, and not packaging
oh
all
yeah,
3 like Mass Effect did. Like, even if they was like, hey, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and its own little thing. Listen, I'm still buying just because they were so good, and it was such a revolution in gaming at the time, especially for how violent Kratos was. Like, yo, just hit the comment sections. How do you feel about the rumors, everything we talked about, everything that's being speculated with the series, and what is your outlook on the future of God of War, the franchise, and Sony? I'll be real curious.
I
What
want
the
y'all to hit the comments and tell me your favorite God of War game. Tell me your favorite God of War moments. What was the best boss
listen.
that you walked in on and said, "Hey, hold my beer. I got some words for you."
I'ma just say this, as far as just sayings, it's God of War's fault and why I was calling my nephew boy. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, the memes that came out of that, where it was, I think the meme was like all the things you can call somebody, and Kratos had his hands and he was like, boy.
Boy. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely tell listen, and what was the God of War, that you said people didn't like? I'm really curious to
God
see
of
if
War
it
Ascension.
yeah, is that a cult? Is that one of those cult games where it was a lot of negativity around the time, but yet it still has such large fan base for that time? I never played it, so I don't
Probably.
know. Yeah, I'll be real curious
Probably. I
in the
bet you there
comments
are people
section.
who probably champion that game silently, but
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah,
I like that game. Hey, shut
yeah,
up. You ain't
yeah,
but
yeah,
it was nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed them all, still to this day, and I own all of them.
Yes, you
The
do.
remastered PS2s on PS3.
We
But let us
do.
know in the comments, like my cousin said. Tell us your thoughts, speculation. Me personally, tell me your story. Tell me how you felt the first time you unalived any of the bosses, let alone the gods in those games. The greatest moments you had
Fighting
of the
Zeus
series.
and even taking out Thor and all his sons. You
Hey,
gonna learn today.
I ain't gonna lie. That Zeus fight, I felt accomplished when I
Yo,
laid him out.
yeah.
Like, oh my god, like I showed you,
Yeah.
I'm better
Yeah.
than you. I
Yeah.
didn't become you. more than you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Such
yeah,
such
yeah.
underlying progression, not in just in Kratos, in yourself, because it kind of becomes a mirror of yourself and your self feeling. So listen, yeah, definitely hit the comments. Let me know. Was I kind of think Zeus is mine, honestly. But I don't know. It's such other good ones that are underrated that don't even get the shine. I don't know. Look, I take that back. I'm walking that back. Dang, I don't know now.
So I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna give
Here we
two
go.
highlights. Of course, the first will always be Ares,
Mm-hmm.
laying him out in the very first game.
Yeah,
But then the
cause
other one, I'm gonna give
it.
God of War 3. I believe it was Hermes. I think it was the god. I think it was the god of Hermes. He clipped his legs and he was stumbling.
Oh,
It was like, oh,
yeah.
you can't run no more. Where's your shit talking now, boy?
I
You
forgot
can't
about that.
run. And he ripped his top off. I was like, oh my god, this was in the game. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, oh god, this is how we're ending this story. Well, those are my two best moments.
God of War definitely has some oh my god, that just happened moments. Yeah, you really felt like a true god. Let us know in the comments, like you said, all your favorite God of War, how you feel about the future of the series and the franchise and the TV show, and yeah, all that. Let us know in the comments. But moving on to another slimy company moves. The latest update in Nintendo lawsuit. I'm just gonna just preference that. I want to say that there are many Nintendo lawsuits currently, and I'm just gonna go real like five. Nintendo versus how do you say that? Power World? Am I saying that right? Pocket Pair?
Power World.
Power World. Yeah,
Well,
you know.
Pocket Pair is the developer. Power World is the game.
Okay, yeah. So that's one. And then they have another a counterfeit lawsuits with Amiibo case, and they literally just won $7 million judgment on that. Wow. And then they have a modding device lawsuit against Mig Flesh, if I'm saying that right. I didn't even
The mid song.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like you sue modding devices. I didn't even know companies
Yeah,
wasted their time with that. And
only Nintendo.
yeah, Genki and the Switch 2 lawsuit or resolution, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, so those were like the five major lawsuits. Some of them had already, like I said, one of them already had judgment. I think some of them are getting appealed and things like that. But them were the top five lawsuits of hundreds and hundreds of Nintendo lawsuits. But I'll let you get into the one you're focused on.
The one that I was focused was the Power World and Pocket Pair lawsuit because the
Mm-hmm.
current update is we talked about it how Nintendo won the patent for capturing creatures in a ball, which was already scummy enough. And that's their ammo to sue Pocket Pair to because they don't want pretty much in the sense they don't want competition. But the latest update was Pocket Pair was trying to defend themselves and they used quote unquote saying that hey, there are mods, not just Nintendo games, but various other games that use such mechanics. And Nintendo's response, and they are having their lawyers work triple time in stating that, well, one, mods are not real content or real pieces of artwork. And if the judge presiding over this case chooses to really heed that statement and their argument, it spells very, very much danger for the gaming industry in the whole because a lot of games live and continue to live off of mod support. And what it'll do is it takes away the protection the mod creator has when a shitty game comes out and that modder puts whatever content or mod in it that not only fixes it, looking at you, Bethesda, but also
I,
adds more
look,
value to that game.
I'm looking
It
at you, The Sims, EA.
or them too. Now, if the judge rules that yeah, modding ain't real, it's not real artwork and etc. When modders make something, these corporations can just take it, put it in a whole new game, charge for it, and the original creator won't see a dime for it. They'll get nothing.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
yo, you did all this work and you made them more money because currently, when a mod is made for a game, it's free.
yeah,
This is the whole reason why this day Skyrim is still played the way that it is because of the modding community, the
yeah.
mods. And I can't even start. There are mods for everything in Skyrim.
Yeah, I've seen
We're
some
talking about a
crazy
nearly
mods.
15-year-old game.
No, I'm just saying I've seen crazy mods in Skyrim, just videos of the different mods and things they added to the game. Even like you said, years later, people are still playing this because of the mods. Some games only
Absolutely.
survive off the modding community, and I'm looking at you, fucking Sims. Cause the Sims game literally launches every time they give an update, it fucking breaks the game. And who comes to save the day? The modders. And the
Modders.
mods literally make the game playable. Like, there's no way the Sims will be functioning. And they even have their own little finasco going on because of something that break the game so much. They put out a press release saying, hey, we can't figure it out right now. We're walking a lot of stuff back, some features, trying to have the game become stable because it's currently unfucking stable. And who does the mod community help the most? Of course, if you're playing on PC. So the Sims that is on consoles is literally unplayable. So, but I just wanted to preface that
Oh
playable
yeah.
ass game.
And I was gonna say there is a current popular mod for a video game that we love. Space Marine 2. There's a
Yeah, yeah.
mod that allows I
We
think it was
talked
what?
about
I think it was 8 or 12 player people added for the
it.
siege mode. That the developers were like, "Hey, we didn't think of that," and they
Yeah.
supported it and allowed it to stay in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But you listen to Nintendo, oh, that ain't real. Don't mean nothing. Like you have never seen such a hive of scum and villainy more than Nintendo. Because rather than just take the L that someone is making a better Pokemon-esque game than you, and rather than you putting in more work to make a good Pokemon game, your thing is we're gonna sue the shit out of you, so we ain't gotta worry about this competition. That's literally what they're doing. That is literally what they are doing, and it is another round of scum, anti-consumer, and I really want to bring it to people's attention because your average consumer, the casuals, you all don't know this shit, and the more you all don't know, the less likely you can stop it from happening. But that is crazy that Nintendo truly does just not want competition so damn bad. And man, we're gonna sue the fucks out of them. But there is a silver lining. And Pocket Pair, shout out to you. Stay classy. Because not only is Pocket Pair fighting Nintendo on this lawsuit, because your average person or company, majority of the time, they just bow down and be like, all right, fuck it, bro. All right. Because they don't have the money to fight Nintendo.
Yeah, because they'll
But
make you dry for years.
but because of the success of Power World, Pocket Pair said we're gonna fight it. But not just that, Nintendo won the patent. Pocket Pair released a trailer for their new game. It blatantly shows off you taking ball-esque items and capturing creature likes in them to control and use them. And they said, fuck you, Nintendo. You don't control game mechanics. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Because if
shout out to them.
Nintendo is allowed to corner the market on game mechanics, innovation will take the shittiest hardcore nosedive. You already had Warner Brothers patent the Nemesis system, and look what that's gotten. It's never been used again. Let Nintendo pocket a mechanic that they did not even invent. They didn't even invent it.
Yeah, yeah, like
Because they're only going after this company because in Nintendo eyes they're small. Why don't you go after Capcom, motherfuckers? Why don't you go after the people who make the Dragon Quest series? I think that's Sega. You ain't going after your own people or anybody who has the juice to take your ass up in court. You try to go after the little people because, like I said, Nintendo does not want competition. Nintendo wants to give you shit and watch you smile and eat it every single time. I gotta do a quick sidebar. I did not know there was an amiibo lawsuit. You threw me off on a loop with that one. When you were naming them off, the infamous in my head was like, what? Hold up. We ain't got paperwork on that. An amiibo lawsuit. That just goes to show you just how much Nintendo lawyers love to sit in the courtroom. They will sue you
bruh.
and smile in your face and say, hey, we make the greatest games. You don't make shit. I'm passing on to my co-host, Treese. How do you feel about this?
Listen, you like I said, I've talked a lot of shit about Xbox and Nintendo, and that's never gonna change because they don't inspire to be shit. They don't want to be shit. They just want to suck every dollar they can. And I find that Nintendo is yo, they go to them press conference. They They do these announcements at their little whatever quote unquote state of play or whatever they call it. They smile, they wave, they bow, they do all this nice shit. Once them cameras turn off and you ain't looking, they do grimy ass shit like this. And the fact that there's a modding device lawsuit, I just want to say fuck you to whoever that judge was that awarded them that game mechanic patent, because that
That
is
lawsuit.
horrific. Listen, I already said that multiple game developers in these AAA need to band together and have that shit reverse, because how can you even do that? Like, and then two, you can't pick and choose who you sue. I'll bring that up in the lawsuit. So you let X, Y, and Z do the same mechanic for X amount of years and you ain't brought this up yet? And you bring it up now to me? Nah, you being very selective. And I listen, I don't know what the right legal term is, discrimination or whatever, but I'll sue Nintendo back because baby, you trying to pick on this little studio because you feel like you can and you think your big dick money, because Nintendo do got some big dick money. They don't boost it. They don't talk about it because they friendly. They smile, they wave, they have the little Super Mario little figure, and they old plumber, and everybody loves Pokemon. And man, Nintendo's are just so fucking shady, and this is just right up their shady alley. I don't know who's worse right now in my eyes, Nintendo or Xbox. I mean, I know Xbox is ruffling feathers right now, but Nintendo really ain't shit. Like at the end of the day,
Fuck them. Fuck
like
them all.
I have a Switch, but at the end of the day, spade is a spade, a duck is a duck, motherfucking Affleck. Nintendo is shady as fuck, and they're not pro-consumer. Being pro-consumer, nowhere in their history have they ever been that. And they always point that they revolutionized the game. And yes, maybe you did 40, 50 years ago, but we no longer give a fuck. It's 2025. Baby, you trying to charge $70 for a fucking cartridge. Get out. Stop playing in my face. Because that's all Nintendo does is play in they fucking hardcore gamer face. Because the hardcore can't tell them nothing about fucking Nintendo and none of the shit they fucking put out and none of the shit they do. They're always right. We talked about how people are arguing that Xbox is in the right to have $30 for Game Pass. I say the people that defend Nintendo is way larger than the Xbox people. And you can argue me this up and down, but I'm going to forever believe that because Nintendo has just decades selling people the same fucking game and no one has batted an eye. No one has said, hey, this is the same shit, look different. And sometimes the graphics get worse. What? How does the Pokemon graphics get worse? What? Like, so fuck Nintendo. It's always going to be fuck Nintendo. And like I said, I haven't bought a new Switch 2. I barely played the Switch 1, and that's mainly because I had Stardew Valley on it, and you know this. And I play Smash Bros.
Yeah,
I
that's
am
true.
I am very adamant on playing Smash Bros. Because that's just a little kindred to my childhood on the GameCube, baby. I do not play the latest Legends of Zelda, and you already made sure to note that Breath of the Wild was not a revolutionary to gaming. It was the same shit, just brought to Breath of the Wild for the first time to a Zelda series game. And people ate that up
Yep.
like Nintendo has changed the gaming world. Like the Nintendo fanatics, baby. I pray for you. I pray for your deliverance and from you to wake up from this dream, baby. Because Nintendo is literally fucking you any protection. And they're gonna continue to raw
Oh,
dog you. They're gonna continue
oh,
to raw dog you, and I mean to be graphic
oh.
because they are raw dogging the fuck out of you. Come on, people, we got to wake up as consumers. I know I love Pokemon too, but baby, I had to draw a fucking line in the sand. Like, you're no longer gonna sell me the same shit with different names, with a different little color variant, and a ugly ass little tint to it now. Like, get the fuck, stop playing in my face. And I just think
That's all it is.
Nintendo
That's all
Nintendo
it
is
is.
playing a dangerous game because like we keep saying, everybody's gearing up, everybody's buckling down. Nintendo's trying to charge $70 for a fucking cartridge. Get the fuck out of here. I think Nintendo out of all the game And I guess, listen, this is probably gonna sound biased because I've already preferenced that Sony is the only one I play for X, Y, and Z reasons. But I think out of all the gaming systems, and I could be wrong, maybe, yeah, now that I'm even thinking about this, this is highly biased. I just think out of all the gaming systems, if you had all three, the first one I'm letting go in hard times is the Nintendo Switch. Me personally. And that, I've already said handheld is not for me. I play games at home. I play on a 75-inch TV. And like I said, the first one on the chopping blocks. The Xbox and Nintendo is probably tied, but I don't even play Xbox, so they like fuck Nintendo. At the end of the day, that's all I'm saying. And hit the comments below if you feel the same way, or if you're gonna defend this foolishness and whoever this judge is need to be put in jail. He did something very unethical in passing that patent. I just don't understand how other companies, gaming companies, have let Nintendo just continue on this warpath they going on with these lawsuits. They literally, YouTube creators are even putting a logo in their video. Like, they lawyers work nonstop. I can only imagine they payroll for their lawyers because they gotta be profitable, because I feel like that's a whole nother, is the money they make off lawsuits, now that I think about it. That probably is its own like business identity for the company when they do they look at the books. God, Nintendo ain't shit. That's all I got.
I really just wanted to make sure I brought
Awareness
this to the limelight, because it was not being talked about, and the few people that talked about it kind of just said it in a quick little session and ran off, because a lot of people are afraid of Nintendo. I mean, you said it, we said it, and we know it. They will sue you. You will get a copyright claim, a cease, desist, whatever they can get their hands on
Even
to
on a
stop someone.
holiday, they have no days off.
Oh yeah,
Can get a cease and desist letter on a fucking holiday. Like, the lawyers ain't got no
they don't
days
care.
off. Fuck Nintendo
I don't
forever.
know who it is that they retain for their legal rights or lawyers, whatever, but hey, they gotta be the best, because they are undefeated.
And they go
They got
in
a man 30
multiple
years in
countries.
jail, and for the rest of his life, he has to pay Nintendo a piece of his check.
Restitutions? They getting restitutions from somebody? Look, is that the right word? They
That's a
getting
good question. Is that the right word? I don't know. But I know
like
they
it's
sued someone. He went to
like a
jail,
person
got out
or
of
a
jail early
business
for good behavior.
entity. Oh
No,
my,
they sued a person. He
oh
went to
my,
jail.
oh
And when
my.
he got out for good behavior, he has to pay Nintendo a cut of his money for the rest of his life. And the amount of money he owes them, and I could not
Just
believe that they let this happen. He
suck my
owes
dick,
Nintendo
bitch.
$15 million for the rest
Bitch,
of
you'll
his
never
life.
get that shit.
For
I
the
wouldn't
rest of
pay
his
not
life, he
1
got to pay
cent.
Nintendo.
Everything I get in
Yep.
life going forward will be in a trust. Fuck you. Everything will be in my kid's name. Bitch, I ain't got shit. I'll die with that debt. Get
Oh
the
yeah.
fuck. Hit the comments below
Let's go
and how
ahead.
you feel. And just fuck Nintendo forever. But going on to the next topic. Golly. Look, people in the comments gonna be like, yo, Teresa's very angry in this episode. Cause everything in this
they
fucking
were
topics
they,
ain't shit.
they're gonna be like, what happened this week? They're very vocal, very
Look, Xbox
um
came with this bullshit. Fucking Nintendo in this bullshit. Like, they're gonna be like, yo, Treese is just. But going on to our next topic. Listen, Sony's blunder. PS5 Pro worth it. And I'm gonna keep it short and
no.
simple. And I ain't even got to spend that low in my opinion. No, all this is pulled from the PlayStation website, if you can't recognize. And I'm just gonna go down the list. And I was very surprised that they even have a certified refurbished PlayStation 5 console up for sale, and it's $399, $400. I'm not even gonna go that 99 route. It's $400.
I was
The
gonna say,
PS
please don't.
the PS5 console, 1 terabyte, $550. The PlayStation Digital Edition, $500. I don't even understand why some of these tiers of consoles even exist. And we get to the PlayStation 5 Pro console at $7. There is not enough difference or gap or performance or whatever you want to call the pro from the regular version for me, baby, to justify the price difference. 750? You better load Space Marines in 2 seconds, bitch. And it's
You
not
know how
happening. So, and we all know if you play Space Marines, getting on them servers take forever in the fucking day. And
you can go
like I
make dinner and come back and it's still loading.
yes, yes, and sometimes when there's too much stuff on the screen at one time, it will stutter. But that can happen on a regular PlayStation 5 and on the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I didn't even realize. And Sony is grimy too. So Sony is really grimy for this, and I didn't even realize it because mind you, the Pro was never ever a thought in me purchasing. Why? Because it's not enough difference. So therefore, you did not work. You did not work hard enough to justify the price difference for me. That's one. It ain't got no disk drive. For 750, you ain't got no fucking disk drive attached. And I didn't even realize until I started looking it up. Sony did that intentional to fucking drive the price of the fucking attachable disk attachment. Like they did that purposely. They did not put a disk drive option on the Pro so that you was forced to buy the attachment for the disk drive. They did that purposely. That's very anti-consumer, bitch. Cause every now and then, and I don't got a lot of them, I still got physical games. And every now and then, I'll think like, oh, I have that on disc. I have to put that in. And if I was to go to a $750 console and I was looking stupid because it was looking at me while it was looking at me with no disk drive, you can't justify that. You can't justify that price. That's just my short and simple take, and it's very apparent. And a lot of I guess latest numbers about how much money, revenue, whatever the PS5 has done, baby, it is still very much behind the PS4 sales of consoles and accumulation, and how many of them are in the market and how many of them have active users. Pro and regular PS4 still has such a large like chokehold on the market. Maybe listen, they didn't feel like it was very justified. And it's that always that transitional period between consoles where, hey, this is available on the old and the new. And then at some point they cut the cord saying, hey, we not putting nothing else on the 4. They're still supporting the PS4. Like there's still games that come out on the PS4 even at this point. So that should tell you that it's that many of them still in the marketplace. And like a lot of people, and I just looked it up, a lot of people agree that the PS5 Pro is very unnecessary. It doesn't give you any bang for your buck, and a lot of people reference that it was a big jump from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro. Why? Hey, me and my cousin, I do recall we played certain games. That PS4, baby, that bitch, you can hear that bitch going into overtime.
Struggling.
That bitch was work. And that mofo, I remember that was part of the marketing. Like, hey, it will load faster, it'll be smoother, blah 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 blah. All the word salad shit that was actually real. It was real value in going to the pro version than from the regular version. Nah, it ain't nothing. It's gonna run the same. So it's gonna run the same on a PS5 that I already had to work through, because when the PS5 released, the scalpers was crazy. It was a crazy time. So I feel a little more emotionally attached to my PS5 because baby, I got it at a time where you couldn't get none. Like they were sold out everywhere. So I feel emotional attachment to my PS5. So it's gonna take a lot for me to let it go. And I'm not even sure if I will get rid of it because of that attachment and the fact that it got me through the rough times of, that whole shutdown era. Sony, you can suck everything possible that's graphic. I'm not paying $750 for this. You ain't working hard for my money. Working hard enough. You're not giving me enough value for my money. So, but let me know what you got, your thoughts on this topic, Infamous.
I'm gonna just come out and say no. Hell no.
Fuck no.
Fuck no. I don't know how to say no in many different languages besides that it's
Nuh-uh.
all no. Hell no. Whatever.
Not in this
But
lifetime. Not ever.
absolutely not. To piggyback off my cousin, when the PS4 Pro came out, you saw the difference in it. There were many games where, as I'm sure any of you viewers, consumers can agree with, when you played a PS4, well, it was chugging. Sound like a jet engine in your room. You're like, hey man, is somebody got the fan on? That's how loud it was. That's how loud it was from what was going on. And when you put certain games in, you be like, oh, it loaded faster, ran a bit smoother. The PS5 Pro, that's not happening. There's some games to where the PS5 Pro version, it runs worse. And you can see this in the fact that there are some developers, PS5 Pro versions of their games or updates for it. They're like, it's just not all that important right now. I think Silent Hill 2 runs worse on the PS5 Pro. Borderlands 4, it has an issue where it runs worse. The PS5, the hardware just is not hardwaring to where it's automatically making things better. That ain't happening. And it's like, how? Like I said,
Halfway.
from the 4 to the Pro, you notice the difference. Now, you have your naysayers and your corporate supporters. You all are fucking crazy. These corporations do not love you. They're not your friend.
They
They're not
don't
your
care
fucking buddy.
about you.
They don't care about you. You all support them and try to, the T word, inflation. Who cares? They make millions, if not billions, and you don't. They can eat these costs and they choose not to. But the PS5 Pro is a product of old Sony, PS3 ignorant Sony. And they were like, hey, we did it once, we can do it again. But it was totally fucking unnecessary to the point where it's like they even raised the price on it. It's like, well, why? Because one thing I will tell you, they have never released the pricing. I'm not sorry, the
The
sales
sales.
of PS4 Pros
And they
and
won't.
5.
They
And they
won't.
won't. We all know it is not the creme de la creme. It is not the system to replace the main. It is for the hardcore audience, the true enthusiasts. It is a complete waste of money. And then they had the nerve to not only price it at $700, because when it came out for $700, I was like, I was expecting this to be $600. They had the nerve to raise the price on it. You made it $750. Who's buying that? The
Look,
same
who,
as who
what,
the hell
when,
buying
where.
that $800 Xbox One? You corporations think that as you pay people less, that they're going to buy more. And that ain't happening. Not at all. In my eyes, it is not worth the juice, the squeeze. It ain't worth any of it. It's not worth it. How are you making games run worse than the original? I still have the original 2020
Yeah.
launch day PS5.
Yeah. No issues.
No issues. Every now and then, maybe a small hiccup, but hey, that's technology.
Look,
But
I
it was
haven't I haven't ran into nothing that ever made me think, "Oh, I need to go spend $750 to get the Pro."
if you're gonna pay those prices for your hardware to game, then the statements I've made before are becoming true and true. Gaming will become a luxury. Fun will become a luxury.
I
For
feel
you
like
to
it
have
already
entertainment,
is.
it'll become a luxury, and that's not how things are supposed to go or be.
People gonna start making hard decisions with these consoles and these gaming consoles. Like, listen, you're gonna have to pick one that you're gonna continue to support. You can't 9 out of 10, you're not gonna support all three. Not with all this foolishness
No,
outside.
absolutely not. Yeah, but not only just that, these corporations keep laying and laughing in your face. They want to keep raising the price and just, the consumer got it. No, we don't. No, we
Nah,
don't.
Sway.
Yo, you ain't met your quarterly earning report. You don't get a yacht this summer. Oh well, people struggling. They gotta
Listen,
eat spam, and
even
you
if
all are
I
laughing
did,
and playing in people's
it,
faces.
even if I did have it, I got it for you. Nah, not for gaming. Nah, I like a lot of other stuff outside of gaming. No, cause it's just getting too expensive. It's already gaming is already a luxury. Entertainment is already becoming a luxury. The prices, it's just becoming so expensive. And you're not giving me a reason to spend $750. In the next 5 years, you can get me to spend $750 on a gaming console. Honestly,
No,
not at this rate. And then not you charge me $100 per game. Get the fuck out of here. Stop playing with me.
like I said, a straight hell no, a straight fuck no, because it was not worth it. The first time around, we saw improvements. It was dabbling into the magic word 4K. As we have went on, people have realized, hey, we don't care too much. At least me, I speak for myself. At least me, I know I don't give a damn about that 4K word. You all couldn't get 1080p 60 to work correctly. I
Ugh.
don't know why people believe they was gonna get 4K 60 working when they couldn't
Yeah.
get the last one working. Nah, I'm cool. You all are not living up to your hype. It was not worth it. It still ain't worth it. Launch day,
Mhm.
baby. Still running strong.
Mhm. Like I said,
Take us away, Q.
I got emotional attachment to my PS5 just because how I got it and the lengths I had to do and the fact that like literally people was like, "Dang, you got a PS5? You actually got one? You beat the bots?" Like,
As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, you got me mine.
yeah, yeah. For such crazy times. But that's before you start
Crazy,
having a
crazy.
Costco membership, not the plug
Yep.
Costco. But yeah, man, like I said, yeah. So definitely hit the comments below. Do you have a PS5 Pro? And then please give us the backstory on how and why you determined to buy it. Are you just an enthusiast who was like, oh, it's the Pro, and maybe your PS5, something happened to it, or who knows? Maybe you got rid of your Xbox and you was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and get the Pros. And you've already gave up on physical games. So the digital thing didn't really deter you. I don't know. I need options. So I still need a disc. If there's still discs being made, I'm always gonna need that option to have the disc on my game console. I'm sorry, but not sorry. But hit the comments below. Let me know how you feel about the topic, and if you still got listen, hit the comments if you still got a PS4. Let it know a
Hell
PS4
yeah.
Pro. Yeah, hit the comments. Let me know if you still rocking with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Yeah, that's crazy. But moving on to our last top, and
It's a juicy one.
listen, we're gonna spend a little extended amount of time, like probably more time than what we spent on the Xbox. So just buckle up. And I'm gonna just get a few points off because and I understand I'm gonna preference this. This is first impressions, and this is very fresh. I played 10 hours over a 2 days 2 day release span. Like it's been 2 days since the game released, and I've already put in 10 hours of gameplay. And so I feel like I have played an appropriate amount of this game to give the comments that I'm about to give. So just buckle up. For all you gaming review companies and reviewers and hype beasts and whoever Sony has in their pocketbooks, baby, for you to have the audacity to say that this is a generational game, you need to never ever have a place in gaming news or game reviews, because baby, this listen, I'm gonna preface this the same way Infamous made a note that Breath of the Wild is nothing new. It's the same shit that we've already seen in X, Y, and Z titles. That's exactly how I feel about this game. I gotta preference this that I do have an abundance amount of love for Ghost of Tsushima. You can call me biased. You can say whatever you want. There's not enough difference and there's not enough improvement from Ghost of Tsushima to Ghost of Yotei. And people can say, oh, well, there was a day one patch and it fixed a lot of stuff. Baby, I'm just going to point out a few things. 10 hours of gameplay. First impressions. I just keep prefacing that. This is not a final review. Why, through 10 hours of gameplay, do I continue to see the same design of certain characters? They're different NPCs, quote unquote, but it's the same design. Look the exact same mofo. Yet he's kind of dressed up differently, and it's a whole nother quote unquote NPC. Too many times I saw that. And people can say I'm being bougie and I'm just doing too much. The amount of lip sync just non-existent in this game is just atrocious. For this to be a 2025 release on a PlayStation 5, PlayStation Pro, the amount of lips not syncing with the words that is being said, it's just atrocious. That happened in the first game, I will admit, but like I said, first game gets a lot of passes. Why? It's the first time. It's the first time at the table. So, you don't have all your manners and you don't know to keep your elbows off the table, cool. But that second time you come to my motherfucking table, you better come fucking correct. Don't be having these fucking same bullshit ass issues from the first fucking game. If anything, have some new issues. Have some shit I didn't even see or it didn't happen in the first game. Let it be new. Don't give me the same shit, because how I feel like you cheated me out of my fucking money. Because this feels like a copy and paste from the first game, and you dressed it up and you put a female character as the protagonist, and you was like, oh, this is a new game, $70. Don't let you get the deluxe, 100 whatever collector's editions, whatever the fuck Sony sold you. I feel like you gypped me. I feel cheated. I just don't understand how Sony, you can come back with Ghost of Yotei and it's really about that one screenshot, and I'm gonna put it up in a video. That bitch said generational. I don't think we understand what the word generational means anymore, because mofos just throwing shit like that out in the universe. So you Okay, I see generational. This is before I even added the game to my library. So you've already put the hype so far outer space. Pluto not even a planet. That's how far you went out with this generational gaming. 10 out of 10. 70 reviews said it was 10 out of 10. Baby, this game is mid. I'm sorry, but not sorry. This game is mid so far. The story mid, the main character mid, her story mid. Everything about this game is mid. And for people to say I'm just always gonna be stuck on that. And I think that really set the game up for failure. When I saw that generational 10 out of 10, this is the best thing since sliced bread and melted butter. Baby, this game is mid. The character is mid. The story is mid. And we can already get into Sony releasing the same game dressed up differently. So you're selling me mid above average storyline, but dressed up differently. And you want to charge me $70 per pop. Sony, you playing in my face. People gonna be like, Treese, you've already said fuck Xbox, fuck Nintendo. Bitch, fuck Sony
Fuck
too.
them all.
Fuck them all because they nickel and diming you. Stop selling me the same fucking revenge story, unalive a certain amount of people to get your revenge. I'm tired of playing that same fucking game, and you charging me $70 for it. I gave Sucker Punch so much praise for the first game, and even the Legends mode. But understand, like I give Space Marines all the praise, it's still some cons. There's still some issues. I still have beef with certain things you do. People can say, "Oh, Sony put their leg on their neck and said you had to do it like this. You had to toe the line." At the end of the day, you put out a product just like you judge all the football players that play quote unquote hurt, but they go out and have a bum ass stat line. You put it out, you charge me money, I'm judging, and I'm gonna judge hard. Game is mid, slightly above average. And like I said, there was a lot of issues that was in the first game, but we let it go because it's your first time at the table, boo boo. We gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You did a lot of good shit, so therefore we gonna give you a passing grade. You just not gonna come back to the table a second time, a third time. Sell me the same fucking story, dressed up differently, and then you come back, your story is a chick. I'm just gonna say spoilers, duh. I mean, I have the gameplay playing, and this is opening scene, so it's not even that much spoilers, but what I'm about to say is spoilers. The chick parents get killed. She watched her family die, get unalived, and now the same people that was there that unalived your family, you run off, get some training, come back grown, and say, "Hey, I'm getting revenge." And it's these number of people. It's 6, by the way. These 6 people are on my hit list. Wow, I've never heard that before. And even if you say, "Hey, a lot of stuff is recycled, it's regurgitated, it's not new storylines, quote unquote." Okay, give you that. I concur. You ain't gotta tell it in such a bland mid, the main points of the storyline. They pay them people good amount of money for these video games. And you mean to tell me you spending that much money for them to make some shit? I could have made this storyline. This shit we've already seen. And it's done in a way we've already seen it. And then it's not even good. Like I said, it's a lot of technical rain looks like shit on this game. And I don't know why a lot of my footage, and when I started the game, it was raining. And at first I was like, all right, maybe it's me. Maybe I need to adjust my eyes. Maybe because, like I said, I'm a little bougie when it comes to graphics, all right? But at the end of the day, I'm not expecting Witcher 3, Geralt's hair flowing in the wind, okay? I'm not expecting that from every game. But at its very least, it's certain line. Like I said, I keep saying, it's a certain line of expectation when a motherfucker says generational. So I'm expecting rain to look like rain, not little jelly falling from the sky. And then she goes into water and not get wet. It's just a certain line when you say generational. And I just want to preference this. If you haven't bought the game, if you haven't played it, if you're waiting on reviews, baby, the game is mid. Hopefully, maybe you can hold out to a sale or something. I don't. And maybe by the grace of gaming gods, something will happen in the story that will make me change my outlook to an above average. But this is pretty average game. It's below average. average storyline. Like I said, shit we've already seen. It's not even done in a cool or epic or oh, that's a surprise. That's a surprising element type of way. Like man, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 so far. I'm really disappointed by this game, and I had such high hopes, and I kept saying I was getting a little nervous. Everybody was getting swept in about oh, it's a chick. Mind you, you look certain armor outlets, and you put on a hat on her, you put a mask on, you can't even tell it's a female, honestly. So I'm not even gonna get in that whole it's a female, so that's why it's not that good, and that's why you don't like it. Nope, you're not getting that cap. Cause like I said, certain stuff I can't even tell us. I forget it's a chick until the game tells me it's a chick. Like the game goes out of its way to say you're a female, or you the reason why you fight like this is a female. And it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot it's a female I'm playing right now until she opens her mouth and talk and something like that. Like, yeah, no. Listen, I'm gonna just continue to say the game is mid. The story is mid. Something happened in like 3 hours into playing in the storyline. The storyline painted a picture. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but it painted a picture that something happened. Certain bad stuff happened to the main character, and then you find out very quickly, honestly, early on, that hey, it's not what you thought. Oh, you should feel something. I felt nothing. I didn't feel moved. I was like, oh, kind of saw that coming. Kind of predictable. This game is mid. I even try to tamper my expectations of the game, but when I start seeing that generational and all that bullshit, baby, I'm just gonna tell you the game mid. And I know I keep saying, I know I keep repeating myself, but the reviews, the Sony is obviously pushing the marketing machine, and it's pushing the false narrative that this game is revolutionary. It's so undone. It's never been heard of. It's never been thought of. You've never seen this before. It's generational. It's a fucking lie. It's a marketing fucking campaign. Sony's full of shit for even hyping this game up like that. This game, Sucker Punch, baby. I'm very nervous for Legends mode. If this is shit that we getting from a $70 game, if they fuck up Legends modes, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I am going to go ballistic. You think you saw me or heard me get pissed off in this pod? I am gonna lose my shit. Cause you talking to somebody that still played Legends mode from Ghost of Tsushima in 2025. They Sucker Punch. Don't play with me. Do not play with me in this Legends mode. And Legends is coming next year. They still got a little time to get the shit together if it's fucked up. It was a new IP. It finally was in Japan. It was everything that Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft never gave us, even though we fucking told them the exact game we wanted, and they still went said, nah, we gonna give you this bullshit. And we looked at Sucker Punch and said, thank you. Finally, this is good. We're finally in Japan. We're fucking samurai. What is this bullshit? So fucking mad. But let me turn it over because I know I keep repeating myself. Let me just turn it over to my cousins. Well, what are your thoughts so far?
And here's the caveat between the two of us. I am very, very much more relaxed when it comes to judging a game, playing games, my taste in games, and even I have to say, this game could have been a $40, maybe $50 expansion. It did not need to be its own $70-esque price game. Now, I'm gonna be a little bit honest. I bought the collector's edition. It came with a mask, as the first one did, and I bought that collector's edition as well. So I was like, ooh, gotta have the pairs up. I like my collector's edition. I don't think I've ever regretted buying a collector's edition, but this one, I'm like, maybe we could have waited and seen. I could have got this on sale. But my thoughts on the game is their faces look like clay. Their lip sync is off. They played it safe and maybe too safe, but I expected a high budget, high gloss from PlayStation because that's what they do. And it has come out that this game has the same budget as the first one, around $60 million. And in an age where games have bloated, that's great. That's cool. It's not even reused assets. Hey, that doesn't bother me because God of War Ragnarok had reused assets. Hey, whatever you can do to keep the bill down, but you all played it too, in my opinion. There are little caveats, and I want to say this with an asterisk. The new gameplay, quote unquote, improvements could have been quality of life added to Tsushima. Them dropping weapons and picking up and throwing it. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. It gives you more crowd control. in a speak because they did change the combat around. Because the parry window, I'm like, yo, Tsushima is the first game I enjoyed, and I was able to do it, pull it off. And this is coming from somebody who has played and plat Souls game from Software. This game just ain't it. And while listening to my cousin rant, two things came to mind as we talked about before we started the show. The story seems very same-ish. It is a repeat revenge tale, but now, hey, it's a woman. And I don't give a fuck about playing as a woman or male in games. You talking about somebody who plays a game and then you get to make a character, I'm making a woman. She has no umph, no draw, because you put armor, you start putting things on her, you wouldn't notice she was a woman. Besides the fact that her, when she opens her mouth, she looks a very skinny, little nerdy guy with long hair. But I'm gonna throw this out here. And like I said, this caught my attention. We're recording and she was on her rant. This movie seems like the same plot as Kill Bill. A woman being done wrong, thought left for dead, and come back and like, yo, I'm about to ice these motherfuckers. I made a list. This is the Kill Bill plot. Not to say
Damn.
that anything is wrong with that.
Yeah. Got it's Kill Bill, and Kill Bill was
Yeah.
done better.
Kill Bill in ancient Japan. Not to say that Kill Bill is bad, because I love those movies, but the originality, the new coat of paint has worn off from the first.
Listen, I felt more emotionally elevated and more emotionally tied to the character of Kill Bill than I do this game. I don't give a fuck about Atsu. I'm just I don't give a fuck about her story. I don't give a fuck about her troubles.
There are little caveats here and there. I do enjoy. I see what they were going for. But baby, from 2020 to 2025, you all were working on this. And this is all you have to show. Okay, you made the open world a bit more. The first time you get on your horse and that camera pans out, and it's like, yo, is that a glitch? And then you realize, oh, that's a thing for the game. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You all made this new world. You want to show it off, and then it's like, yo, can we stop that? Like, why are you drawing me out? Because it makes it harder to see what I need to
Yes.
see because everything is zoomed out now.
Yes.
I'm,
So
I'm
many
trying to ride
times I
around and
have
collect
to
resources,
yes,
and
I
I'm like,
have
yo,
to
is that
stop,
what the
go
hell I do?
back. Oh my fuck.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm confused. The stance change. Well, technically, it's not really a stance change. You just change the weapon, and it changes the stance. Okay, it's little tricks that they did. It's like, okay, I see what you did. I got it, but it's like, did we
Same
really need
shit.
this?
Same
Did
shit
we
dressed up
really need
differently.
this? This could have been a expansion because when everyone heard a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, I'm going to speak for myself here, but most people thought that Jin's story was going from the island to the mainland because that's what happened in that war. This whole thing is based off of true events. You all fast forward 300 fucking years and you're telling the same story with just a different person. And it seems completely unnecessary. I enjoyed the first one. The first one played nice. I mean, hell, you talking to someone who just not went back recently and finished the DLC for the first game, and now I move into this. It's not that big a difference. The world is still bright, vibrant, beautiful world, and I understand that these motherfuckers took a long time, if you want to call it that, making this world, so they want to show it off, but there are a lot of, hey, we played it safe. We didn't cost daddy a lot of money, where everyone else is making hit big games and it's costing daddy a lot of money, so the margin will be bigger. The line gets ticked up more, but this could have been less. This could have been more for less. And then Legends mode. Treese is worried about it. I'm gonna say this. You all saved so much money making this fucking game. I hope y'all put more into Legends mode than just the cookie cutter co-op missions or the raid and the horror mode. Because I'm gonna say this. My cousin still plays that goddamn game. That's her bread and butter. That's her comfort food. She gets on Legends, unalives demons, keeps it going. As far as first impressions, this ain't moving the needle, baby. It's not. This is just more of the same. Even the outfits, I feel like they're kind of lazy. They're
Mm-hmm.
just shirts half on, half off.
Blood.
The sleeve that it looks like baseball players put on when they're resting their arm before they go soak it.
Oh God, yes. And then the
Like
horse, the horse drip is so poor.
the
Like
horse, I'm gonna say this, and this is probably
ugh.
gonna give me a lot of flack. That horse reminds me of Roach from Witcher 3. Special ed,
Yo,
baby.
you can't say
That
no.
horse. I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
Listen, like I talked to my cousin, when you're picking your horse, I didn't even realize the DLC horse was a DLC horse because it looked so plain Jane. I'm like, that's the DLC horse because it gives you a warning before you pick a horse, like, hey, you're picking such and such. This is not the DLC horse, and I'm like, well, which one is it? And I had to go back, and I was like, the brown horse, the plain Jane horse, is the DLC horse. Now, preference this from the first one. You had the little DLC, and you knew which horse was the DLC because the drip was different. The drip looked, it had some drip to it. And I'm like, I'm gonna get the basic game horse because he looks a little more appealing. He looks a little bit more special. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, the game mid. A lot of the world, honestly, and I talked to my cousin. I feel like they copy and paste the Ghost of Tsushima and they warped it. They
Too much.
shaped it differently, and they made it. They extended it out. That's why they have them little white paths to make your horse go faster so you can fucking travel from point A to point B faster. But like I said, in the worries that I had for this game about the world feeling empty, now I will say the livestock or animals, whatever you want to call it, it is some little dressed up shit to make it not empty feeling because it is a lot of grass, flower patches. Like it goes for longs and longs, and then all of a sudden you'll see in the distance this low graphical horde of horses looking like moving clay bots moving across the horizon. Mid, everything about this game is mid. I felt like my cousin is right. Sony said, "Hey, don't do too much outside. Don't color outside the lines too much." We struck gold with the first one. Just slap some makeup on it,
Keep
some
it
general
basic,
shit. Like
but
just
keep
keep
it
the
sexy.
keep the status quo. Just make sure them flowers are vibrant and they pop. Cause when them people live Mount Yotei, they need to see the beautiful landscape. Now I'll give the game this.
It is gorgeous.
Beautiful when you ain't looking at character's mouth move and you're not zoomed in on the moving herds of horses and you don't see the blob of bears. Now I will preference this. Maybe the day one patch update fixed a lot of this clay looking shit, but I doubt it. The lip sync, I don't think it's ever gonna get better. The NPC color or change up, you know how Madden has the same 5 faces for their customization? I don't think that's ever gonna change in the game. Yeah, whatever. No patch is gonna change that, I feel like. And they're not going back and changing NPCs and making different variants of the NPCs. They're just not. Because I can clearly see that it's the same NPC with hair, without hair, change of clothes, different color clothes. It's just, can we put in a little more effort? Just a little bit more effort for a $70 game. A little bit more effort than just the flowers looking beautiful and me looking out from the mountain of Yotei. And it's just like, oh, okay, nice. Can I get a little bit more diversity in how you tell a story? Is that too much to ask, Sony? Not to sell me the same fucking game dressed up differently. Horizon Zero Dawn from fucking Spider-Man to now Ghost of Tsushima and Yotei. Can I just get a little bit more depth in the storytelling? Just a little bit. Just a bit where I can come on this platform and say the game is above average. You need to go spend that money. It is worth $70 or whatever you paid. Fuck Sony. And I had such high hopes. I was building in cap of, all the backlash she's getting for a female is unjust. Let's just see what the game is like. Let's play the game. I played the game, it's mid as shit. And I feel like they did minimum effort and it shows in the final product. All they cared about and all they fine-tuning went to the flower designs and the flower graphics, and everything else was just, hey, just keep the copy and paste certain shit from the first game. Now people gonna say, oh, you can cook, you can throw weapons, you
This ain't
like
overcooked. I'm trying to have a revenge. Why am I sitting here making dinner?
Like, when it was like, yo, cook salmon, I was like, and then it was like, move the remote and flip flop, and I was like, okay, that's cute. That's cute for this first time, but I'm skipping it. The rest of the time, I'm not going to continue to do that. You're not going to pat the gameplay time with me cooking salmon 500 million times. And like I said, this is first impressions, and I know it sounds like a full review, and I'm condemning the game, but I I put in 10 hours over the span of 2 days. And so I feel like I'm entitled to this strong opinion so far. And all I'm saying, as far as my opinion, up to this 10-hour mark, and I don't think the game or the story after 10 hours of gameplay is going to dramatically change and boost it up. And like I said, a lot of the story is predictable. A lot of the stuff I saw coming, it was just like when she was going through all the stuff and she was saying, I was like, well, you say you saw this, but it never showed it. So I kind of already predicted that. Oh, that's not, you over emotionally looked upon that. That's not what really happened. Not saying what she's mainly mad about didn't happen, but I'm saying, and you'll see if you play the game and it happens quickly. It's just like, bruh, come on. And I feel like they could have did it totally different. Totally different. No, not the game mid. The game mid. I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
I said what I said, how I felt about it. Disappointment. It's Kill Bill
It's
in Japan.
not even done better than Kill Bill. Like, what the
It's Kill Bill in Japan, and the messed up thing is it loses its it's shock factor because you know what's gonna happen.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I expected a little bit more, but hey, I am more tolerant and more less critical than my counterpart. But even I was like, hey man, this could have been an expansion. This could have been a big, glorified, huge expansion that they just did years later. And I don't have a problem being given more of something I like. Now, to some
Yeah.
people, they don't like that. Oh, this. Why didn't you just make another game? You have some crazy ass people out here who just want to throw their money away. I am not. And
Mm-mm.
some of you may feel some type of way about our initial impression, but as I stated before, we are consumers and regular day people just like you. We have jobs and other things to attend to, families, lives, hobbies, workouts, whatever. We ain't got time to push and plow through to beat this game super quickly to get a review out. So we give you a slice, a taste of how we thought it felt, and we're going from there. And that's all we're here for, baby, to share
Yeah.
our opinion of what's
Yeah.
going on in this world. Because, like we say, just like you, we consume. So,
Look,
but let us
look.
know your thoughts in the
eh,
comments. Are we wrong? Are we,
uh,
maybe a little
uh,
too high
t-
strung,
and
too
too
high expectations?
biased. Yeah,
You know,
I just want to preface that some dumbass reviewer said this is generational. And when you say generational, when the said same generation had fucking Ghost of Tsushima in it, that means you have to be better than Ghost of Tsushima at the baseline. And you are not Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei is not better than Ghost of Tsushima. And you can say I'm biased and I have it's not better. So you can't say it's generational when Ghost of Tsushima is in the same generation. Literally, I play Ghost of Tsushima on my PS5 that I have now, and I'm playing Ghost of Yotei. So you cannot say generational. And do not use that word loosely, because you just set an expectation that this game was never going to meet. You can say 10 hours of gameplay is not long enough to make this strong of a comment. And I can totally understand that. Like I said, I put in 10 hours over 2 days. The game has been out 48, not even 48 hours, probably. But at 10 hours of gameplay, you cannot expect the game to suddenly, the storyline just to improve dramatically. After 10 hours, 10 hours, you're deep. You deep in. You've seen and been told most of the story. And like I said, my cousin, he'll spend 20 hours on side shit. And
sure
I
will.
made a conscious decision to, yes, I did do some side stuff in that 10 hours, but I was trying to get to the main meat and potatoes of the game. Cause listen, the opening credits of the game happened and I was still looking like, okay, so when the game gonna start? Cause honestly, Ghost of Tsushima has such a mind-blowing opening. You are at war. You are charging into battle. Listen, the stage has been set. Hey, everything is on the line. You fighting through the crowds of people. You looking for your uncle. Like, you didn't even match. At minimum, you have to match that impact that the opening scene of the game had. And this game did not. It does not. It will never. You don't have to beat the game to get that understanding. The opening scene of this game is so, and you can say I'm emotionally unalive inside because you cried in the opening scene of this game and it made you feel this way and that. I'm gonna just say I don't get it. It did not tug on not one heartstring of my soul. And I love Japan. I like a lot of stuff about Japan. I'm willing to go from the United States to Japan and spend thousands of dollars, not thousands. Hold on, calm down. A large amount of
Slow down.
money for a plane ticket to go to Japan and eat the food, enjoy the culture, do all this. So this game should have hit all my checkpoints. This is a sequel to a game that I love and I hold dear and I still have in high regard. This is from the same studio. They had 5 years. They said they wasn't giving no more updates to the Legend modes because why? They wanted to focus on the sequel. And mind you, and I want to preface this because they kind of was shady too. They sold the Legends mode independently. So you can buy Legends mode for $19.99 or whatever it was. And I want to say not even 6 months later, they was like, all right, we done updates. This is our last update. And it caught everybody off guard. Like, bro, I just bought this mode independently. I don't have the main game. And you gonna stop pushing out updates? I didn't see a lot of pushback because, like I said, people love the game. People love the Legends mode. They thought it was super. Oh, you got so much material and so much gameplay out of your original investment, which you did. That's why I feel gypped because this is not a lot of value for the money for you to charge $70. It's just not there. The game, the storyline, the mechanics, everything they said that it's new. It's not new. We've seen it before. It kind of past the total gameplay time of the game. You can skip it. You can be because it's kind of becomes a nuisance after a while. Like after 10 hours, I got so tired of cooking salmon and cooking food and making camps and starting fires. It's just like, nah, bruh, I'm over it.
You made a camp?
Yeah, you can make
I
a
have
little
not
camp.
done that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
make a
no,
little camp. You can sleep
I
and
ain't did.
skip time until the day or tonight. Yeah, like I'm 10 hours in the game. I have seen most of what the game has to offer at this point. And let me know if you agree or if I'm crazy and if I had too much expectations and I shouldn't let the hype machine and the marketing team and the generational reviews and all the 10s out of 10s, I shouldn't have put too much emotions in that, in which I feel like I didn't. You cannot tell me that this is a A1 and this is a high scale restaurant and I go in and it's basically microwave food. You cannot play in my face, Sony.
They
Sucker
serving
punch.
bologna sandwiches at Ruth Chris.
Listen, you cannot Bob's Steakhouse. If you're in Texas, you know what Bob's Steakhouse. Very high end. Your bill probably gonna be $500-$600 when you done. You cannot feed me TGI Friday food in Bob's or Ruth Chris or any high scale steakhouse in Texas. You cannot give me microwavable food, cause baby, I'm going to riot. Listen, I know I've dug a big hole and I've condemned the studio. Fuck up Legends mode if you want to. I'm gonna lose. I am going to lose it. I'm going to be in outer space of just pissed offness. Not a word, but I'm saying it. You are not going to play in my face like that, Sony. I'm looking. I've been trying to see if my opinion is just crazy and out of this world, but a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is very in line with what I'm saying. People feel the same way. People are complaining about the chick walking through rocks and how is this a AAA game and the clay and the looks of the NPC and the lip sync. Like all of this is circulating. It's not like we're the only ones saying this. They're saying this is same open world tropes, side quests really ain't got no value. The story of the things you do and you have no emotional ties to the side characters or any of the people that you supposed to be working with while you're on your path of revenge. You really don't care. I'm gonna stop beating the unalive horse, but let me know in the comments how you feel about this game. Do you feel like they can do some simple patch updates that can fix a lot of the issues? I'm going to say right now, I think this is the game. I think Sony has a very big problem and people are really pissed off because they're tired of getting the same game dressed up different across multiple Sony first person franchises. They're getting real pissed off now. It's the same shit. Come on now, for $70 in 5 years, I expect more. I expect more. Being a samurai, even you say she's not a samurai, which she's not. Her fighting mechanics is very rough. She's a very much a brute. Everybody you go to train, every senseis make notes that, oh my god, you're so unrefined. You're a savage fighting with a katana. They make note of it constantly. We get it. Stop saying the same shit over and over again every time I go somewhere to get trained. 10 hours in over 2 days. Maybe I need to take a step back. Let it breathe. I won't play the game for a couple days. I'll come back to it with hopefully a fresh soul and a fresh heart and a little bit more open eyes and understanding. But I gotta say, I don't think that's gonna change about my outlook of this game.
I like the optimism, but it won't. It is what it is.
Yo, fuck
That's
Sony is
that's
gonna
that's like that's like that's
fuck
like biting
Sony.
into a sandwich and you say, you know, I really don't like this sandwich, but I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna come back to it in a few days to see if I like the sandwich more. If it's shit in your first bite and it's shit in the second and third bite, it's gonna be shit the next time you bite it. It's just shit.
Listen. I think Sony is playing a dangerous game, copy and pasting all these games and all these generic ass stories. And I'm telling you, games are getting too expensive for that, Sony. You better get your fucking shit together real quick. And if this has any inkling, the new God of War game, bitch, I'm scared. Bitch, I'm scared. And whatever else first party Sony games are in the pipe, bitch, I'm scared. Cause what you're not gonna do is continue to play in my face with these generic ass stories and the same story across different franchises. And bitch, I'm scared if they didn't announce in 8 months saying, hey, there's gonna be a third Ghost game.
Of
Like
what?
and I bet you, I want to listen. I'll bet $1 million if this game gets enough negative press and negative reviews from real people, not people that's paid by Sony, and the sales don't do expectations. I bet you then the third sequel will be Jin Sakai going to the mainland. They'll give people what they actually wanted. Then Sucker Punch will then go back to the drawing board, like, well, listen, let's just give them what they want.
Which I don't know why that's so hard to do in the first place.
I can see it. I can definitely see that. If the sales ain't there and all this negative reviews is gonna really overshine all the paid reviews and all the good hype machine they did, I can see it. They finally be like, you know what? Let's course correct. Let's Sucker Punch all that isolated story and doing its own thing, going up north, and no, it's a wrap. Listen, because we got to gear up for Xbox to come to us when this 10-year contract is over. So get this shit together, because Xbox gonna come in strong for us for some money. So we need to make as much money for these first party franchises as possible, and we ain't got time to be up here trying to fucking redesign the ship. People ask for certain shit, we're gonna give them. Hey, they don't want to play as a woman, I bet it won't be a woman next time. And I'm not even trying to be funny. As I play the game, I forget I'm playing as a woman until she talks. Like, so the playing as a woman not even an issue, but I bet that if this game get enough negative attention or too much negativity and the sales don't do what they think it should do, next game you won't be playing as no woman. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm gonna stop beating the game down, because people are gonna be like, oh, well, is this your final review? No. In another episode, I'll just give my final thoughts, and if it's more of the same, I'm just like, hey, the game never changed. It stayed the course after I beat it, and I'm very uninterested of any DLC. Like I said, Ghost of Tsushima, I bought all the DLC. I was game for everything. You couldn't take my money quick enough for Ghost of Tsushima. But this Ghost of Yotei, nah, I'm DLC. I wish they would announce some DLC. Get out my face. I already know how the DLC will go. I already know how the game gonna end. I'm only 10 hours in. I already know the story before it tells me the story. Sony, you ain't getting another dollar out of me when it comes to Ghost of Yotei. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. That's my first impression. That's Infamous first impressions. Let us know in the comments your first impressions. Have you played the game? Are you waiting on the sale? Are you seeing the real reviews? You didn't pre-order the game and you are smart with your $70 and you're just not gonna give it away. These companies gonna have to work for it, and Sony is not above working for my money threshold. So let me know in the comments if you like the game. Maybe you don't care that the story is quote unquote generic, very mid. Maybe this is the best thing since melted butter to you. And if so, tell me why. And tell me, how is this better than the Ghost of Tsushima? Because first you're gonna have to go over that hurdle, but then you have to tell me, how is this game good? It has any of the characters you've met, played, listened to, do you even remember their names right now? After how many hours? Exactly. Because they're mid. They're unforgettable. But anyway,
I can name one. The Rain, the chick that sells you the bow.
you're not even confident in that statement. So that tells you all you need to know, people. He said, quote, he said he thinks. And then the name was Rain. The same thing that the game is so ugly. Rain, it looks like floating jelly from the sky. Your character never gets wet. She runs through a
I just
fucking
got one thing
river.
to say.
She doesn't get wet.
I just got one thing to say before we wrap this up. If you don't
Mid
take
ass
our
game.
word, hey, go watch the movie Kill Bill.
Yeah, at least that's a better
If you don't
experience.
you don't take our word for what we're talking about, hey, go watch the movie Kill Bill and come back, hit the comment section. Let us know. I'd love to see a well damn Infamous.
Hey,
I
and
know what I'm talking about.
I was rooting for her. So when the story was getting told, I was like, damn, let's like, hey, every fight she went into, I was like, hey, we're gonna put it all on the line. We ain't playing because we want our revenge. We
Great
Kill
movie.
Bill is very much the same story told so much better. It captivates you so much more. I can't the side characters' names are so irrelevant. They're not game mid. But this concludes the episode 5 of the Are You Not Entertained podcast. Let us know what you thought, all the things. Did you agree with our opinion? Do you disagree? Definitely tell us why. Yeah, I just don't have a good outlook of Ghostly Yotei. And it's very unfortunate. This was a title I was very much anticipating for a very long time, ever since it was announced and the first trailer and all that. And now I'm very much looking at Sony first person titles very sideways now. And this is very a bad taste in my mouth. And going forward, Sony, you just ain't guaranteed $70 from me going forward. This has tarnished like how Xbox fans has lost trust in the Game Pass. Sony, I have lost trust. Sucker Punch, I have lost trust. I have no more faith. I have no faith. Fuck Sony.
I got one thing. Cancel Game Pass and keep consuming consumers.
Yes. This Game Pass no longer makes sense and don't it's not beneficial. Please cancel that shit. Because I believe that's what Microsoft wants you to do anyway. So let's go ahead and make Game Pass. Make sure like we did. You remember Blu-ray versus HD, and on G4 when Blu-ray ended up being the ultimate
Yeah.
winner, they held a funeral
Yeah.
for HD movies. Whoa, a funeral for Game Pass on the pod.
Hey, you want to know something fucked up? I was in a disc replay recently buying the game, and they had this massive stack of red cases near the front. I was like, "Yo, what is that?" They was like, "Oh, those are HD DVDs." I was like, "Yo,
Oh
you have
my
these?"
god.
They were like at least 5 pillars, maybe about almost toppling me, and I'm 6 foot, and they were selling them for
Oh.
like $1, $3. I was like, "Yo, I should grab these." I was like, "Wait, I don't have an HD DVD player, let alone know
Yeah.
where to get one."
Oh my,
Oh, it
I'm
really
so
tickled me.
shocked that you've seen like literally since the whole thing, I mean the conclusion of the battle, I haven't seen them. I
Oh
want to say
no.
maybe 2 years after the conclusion, I never saw one in real life in the real world. Look, it's almost like watching like wildlife in their national habitat. Never
Uh,
seen it.
yes, hell yeah. But when I saw it, a piece of me was like, yo, I gotta see what these things look like. Because I've never seen an HD DVD ever play. But I was like, yo, I wouldn't know where to even grab one from.
Listen, your old
Oh,
360, I think that was HD supported cuz I think
no, that's not it. It had an attachment you had to buy,
yeah,
which is
that's what I'm talking
probably
about.
long extinct. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah, as far as
attachment.
trying to like find one to buy it, yeah, probably. That's crazy.
That's the only thing I can think of unless you have a old HD DVD player that your grandma at your grandma's house or something. Yeah, I can't think of nothing else that is still in probably
Yeah.
circulation that you can play an HD movie on. I'm
Mm.
so shocked that you saw one out in the wild.
I saw it, and I was looking like, "Yo, are people buying these?" He's like, "No, we're next to just trying to get rid of them." And a piece was like, "Yo, I'll
Why
give
do
you
you?
$5 for all of them. For every last one. I'll give you
Yo,
$5 for them."
I'm like,
But
why do
once
you
again,
even
like
have this?
I just want to see. But a piece of me knew, like, "Yo, you buy this, you'll never be able to get rid of it, never." Because
Yeah,
someone's gonna look at you like, "Yo, why do you have these? What are these? What's an HD
yo,
DVD? Is that a cheaper Blu-ray?"
most probably like whatever generation this is, it's like, what is HD movies? What is that? Now I'm
Mhm.
looking it up. Do they have any like increasing value if they're unopened?
All of them were unopened too. One of them, I was like, "Yo, I just want to see it." I just want to see it. I want to see why people thought this was better than Blu-ray. I gotta see, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah, so it says that only way for a HD DVD to be worth anything if it was a highly rated like movie, something like maybe I don't know Avengers type, like it was such a big deal. Like no, Avengers Endgame would probably be what they're talking about level of successful movie, and then it has to be a rarity, like a special edition DVD, unopened, sealed in pristine okay, that's yeah, complete box set, special, yeah. And even then will be only worth $20.
I was about to say $20.
Yeah, that really talk about surprise. That yo, I'm flabbergasted. I forgot
Hey,
HD
I'm
movie was
telling
even
you,
a
when I
thing.
saw it, my mindset was like, yo, what the hell is this? What are these red boxes? They look like Blu-rays. And then I looked, I'm like, I remember these. And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?